Yes, people. Welcome to this quick live stream. Also, if you've seen any of my other previous live streams, anytime man says quick live stream, usually goes on for a couple of hours, but definitely not today though. I've got paperwork to do in that, and I was chatting to one of my cousins earlier, and we was talking about man that's still on the road. And yesterday I was chatting to my brethren about man that's still on road. So I thought, you know what, let me just make a quick live stream about this. Innit? Let me just check the playback, make sure this thing's actually on air. Yeah, got two people already. Well, go on. Use that though. So the title of this one is, what is the title? Hold on. At what age should man get off road? So how old is too old to still be on the streets? I follow one page called Blue Channel, and he must have posted up a funny picture of a pigeon still wearing, like, imagine a pigeon, a little bird, yeah, a pigeon wearing like Gucci, and then let me see if I can find it. Basically, he said, when you're an old man, when you're too old to be on the block and you're still on the ends, you look like this pigeon. Let me see if I can. Yeah, yes, man. Like Dulce David. Dulce David, it's not gonna be long though, because I still got paperwork to do. I'm kind of behind, man. I didn't wake up till 12 o'clock today. Don't understand why I slept for so long. Obviously, man, I had little breaks in between, just get up for 5 minutes, check my phone and that. But officially, I didn't wake up till midday today, man. I ain't done that in ages. Literally, this one's off the dome. All my live streams are, no, actually, apart from the ones where I come with notes and that, pretty much most of them are off the dome. But this one, literally, I didn't even think about going live today. It's just true. Say, man, I had a conversation with one of my friends yesterday, and one of my older cousins phoned me, and we were just talking about, yeah. So let me see if I can find this picture. What you saying though? How you been? You been good though, Sir David though, yeah? See if I can find this picture. Maybe there won't be that much people in this live stream as well because they'll be celebrating the Queen's Jubilee. Yeah, this is it. See if you lot can see this. If you see that, can you see that picture, yeah? Well, you look like being 30 years plus and still chilling on the block. Yeah. Trust me, that's the only way you can really do yeah. Take every day as it comes, man. Obviously prepare for the future and that tomorrow's not promised and that. One rapper got killed the other day. Don't really know the backstory now, but my brother said to me that he had a fight with his brethren outside a club, and it was his brethren that killed him. Didn't expect that, but it happens. I know what you used to walk past my yard. Man used to walk past my yard all the time. You know when one of the little youths, them 3 years younger than me, so one of the youngest in the ends, say, well, I go on to him all the time. Next thing you know, I'm hearing that my man got killed by one of basically his brethren that he grew with, who lives about 20 doors down from me, lives on a long road on an estate, over rap battles. Madness. Imagine that. A young youth lost his life over a rap battle because things got heated. You see them clashes and that. You see clashes and that where things get heated and that. A man started getting into a shoving contest and that. The reason why the youth stabbed him and killed him is because apparently the one that died had beaten up the other one in the past a few times. So man are like, I'm not taking an L this time. And yeah, stabbed him and killed him. That's all it takes, one chest shot. All it takes is one stab wound to the chest, and that's it. Lights out for you. Literally, boy. But people, just poke him in his chest. Nah, fam. Just poke him in his leg. Nah, fam. You got main arteries and that. Might get unlucky. I know a man. One of my guys. You lot probably heard me speak about this a few times before. When I got nicked for some false attempted murder accusations and that. One of my brethren, see the youths from the other side have come down, and some of my brothers have ran. One of them got caught. He got stabbed 19 times with knives and screwdrivers and that. Survived. And then certain man, they'll get one chest shot. That's it. Gone. So remember, we're human beings. We're made of flesh and bones and blood. We're not been evolved to handle foreign metal objects trying to pierce our body. Man's not a turtle out here, innit? So. Yeah, I heard about, okay, so it was in the club, Redbridge, which is near Ilford. So what happens, man. Me and my cousin talked about this earlier. Man talking about man getting their chain robbed and that. Amir Khan's name came up first during the conversation, but we were talking about man getting their chain peeled and man getting robbed on the streets and that. But this is why, me personally, you know anything about me, I'm not into 20 grand AP watch. I don't care about stuff like that. I don't care about wearing ice gold chain, big thing and that. I don't business about wearing a big chaps and that. I'm not a flashy type of guy. But if you're wearing them expensive jewelry and that, blood, you gotta be ready for smoke, blood. You gotta be ready. I'm chatting to a man, the man saying to me, yeah. I mean, I would not be thinking like this or be doing this, but I'm chatting to a man, the man's telling me, yeah, if he's wearing big chain or whatever, man try to peel him and that, he's just gonna hand it over because he don't want to lose his life. I get that. But at the same time, man can't just walk up to me and think that, like I'm giving away free jewelry and that. You have to weigh it up. It's like, you don't want to get pricked. You don't want to get taken for an either. You don't want man to come take your 20 grand watch or your 10 grand chain or your 5 grand pinky ring. Get me? You want to stand up for yourself, but do you want to lose your life at the same time? Best not to, fam, you don't need to be, listen, the richest man them on the road, Bill Gates and that, Jeff Bezos and that, but they ain't fucking wearing big gold chain AP watch and that. If they are wearing big gold chain and AP watch, they ain't wearing no big gold chain anyway. But if they are wearing an AP watch, they're at functions where there's other man wearing watches that cost that price and or above or below. Get me? They're not out here. Like, how are you really out here with a 20 grand watch walking amongst people that don't even have a 20 grand watch or can't afford it? Man are trying to show off. Man are trying to be that guy amongst broke people. Why do you want to be the richest man amongst broke people? You want to be you want to blend in. You want to be flexing and going to functions and that with people that are on the same money as you, the same mindset as you. If you need to go to a function, you think to yourself, blood, this is the type of function where I need to carry a knife or I need to tuck my chain in and that. Blood, don't go. Don't go or don't wear it, blood. Not going to be worth it, fam. Not worth it. I said, just get a job, get a degree, get out of your house, get some girls, reproduce, life, purpose completed, bro. Yeah. Make investments as well. Add to that, make investments as well. Obviously, you know me, if you I've never heard this person based Catholic. Man always likes to talk about property and that. Buy some properties and that. Leave them behind for your use, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. The reason why I talk about property and that is because anyone can get into buying a property. You know, say with the property renovation ticket that you will take some L's in that if you're not that way inclined. You're not a builder, you're not an electrician, you're not a tradesman, you're not a plumber. But to buy and own properties and rent them out, anyone can get into it. Are you built to be a landlord? That's a different question, though. Get me? Me, I'm built to be a landlord and that, but not everyone is. See, to be a landlord, you have to have an air of authority about you. When you speak, your tenants need to listen. Man's never spoke to tenants and they're not listening, bro. Yeah. But the property tick, anyone can get into it. Anyone can get into it, man. Just takes sacrifice. Get me? You ain't gonna be buying no property if you're concerned about what Gucci has released lately or what's the next Mercedes that's coming out, and that the two of them is mutually exclusive for the most part. Most people that have properties and that, I'm telling you, yeah, if they're driving Mercedes and that, a nice car, whatever, BMW, whatever, latest Audi and that, that's because they're probably using that money that they make from their profit from their properties to buy those cars or lease those cars and that. I guarantee you, those people that are leasing all them cars and that, before, they was more focused on the properties first. That's the way you got to do it, man. You can't think to yourself, telling you, the people that wear the nicest clothes and that, they're the brokest people. I know people, they probably got a wardrobe full of 10 grand, 20 grand worth of clothes and that, but they ain't got no property, bro. Me, my wardrobe is basic, bro. This is like one of my favorite jackets from Zara. I think it cost me like £60. Had it for like 5 years and I hardly wear it. My wardrobe's basic and that. But man's got clothes that look good, fit me well. That's all you need. I got bare properties though, man. I got 2 properties, 2 in this country, 1 in Egypt. I'm gonna be looking to buy a next one soon. From Monday, from tomorrow, I'll be starting to look at buying another property. It's just gonna be a little flat in Northampton though. And then after that, then I'm gonna be looking to buy a property and move out of Northampton. So the reason why I want a few in this area, because I'm not planning to ever get rid of my properties. Only at the end of the term. So basically, this is like a repayment, but the other property I've got is a buy-to-let, interest only. So you just pay off the interest until the term is up, the 35 years are up, and then you either have to pay for it or sell it. But in the meantime and that, I'm not planning on selling none of my properties. So when I'm leave and move from Northampton, I want a decent enough excuse to have to come up here. And so I rather go to an area where I've got 3 properties than rather have 1 property there, 1 property over there, 1 property over there. I rather have a few properties in one area. So that's why I'm planning to have like 3 properties in Northampton. So that if there's any issues in that when I'm coming up here or whatever, although it's not gonna be that far away, but yeah, I just decided, you know, let me have a few properties in the same area if I can. If I can. Obviously, if I stumble across some amazing deal in Birmingham, yeah, I will do it. But man, don't want to really be driving up and down, up and down, up and down to be servicing and maintaining properties and that, man. Off topic. You won't making money out of it. But what they have to do is, I know a couple of men that do it and that they will chip in and be a registered director of a business, like a Caribbean restaurant, for example, and that's how they wash up their money. They're basically money laundering. They're basically money laundering, and obviously, like if you ever buy a property and that, there will be like some anti-money laundering checks and that they make. Yeah, they conduct some anti-laundering checks and that. So, but yeah, that's what they do. They have the money. They have to launder their money in that. I'm sure a man could go to the casino and do some little funny business or whatever in it and wash up his money that way. So there's like a proof of get me where you got the money from. But then again, I think they might want to see, well, how did you build it up to 40 grand? You know what I'm saying? Like, no one just puts down one bet and win 40 grand. Maybe. I don't know. What I want to know is, when I was watching Top Boy, obviously I'm assuming you've watched Top Boy and that. When they were shipping the drugs in from, well, when they were planning to get the drugs from Morocco and or Spain to the UK, how did they get it through customs? Because like in other countries, in them foreign countries and that, obviously as you've seen in Top Boy, which is real, not all of the Top Boy thing is real in it, but as you see it in Top Boy and that, with like the Spanish police and the Moroccan police and that, them foreign man there is dodgy and that. And don't get it twisted, there's dodgy police in England as well, obviously. But them foreign man, you can tip them man off, you can allow them to tax you and that, so you can bring things to bring things through, obviously through customs and that. That's in them foreign countries and that, innit? Yeah. But I don't think it's like that in England. I don't think anyone at customs is dodgy like that. Like, man are gonna let man bring drugs through. I don't know. I'm still trying to work, because when I was watching Top Boy, I was literally thinking to myself, how did they bring drugs through? Like, I'm not talking about like a girl coming from Switzerland and she's carrying drugs on her person. Like, how did they bring big amounts of drugs through customs in this country? Because the UK government and that, I mean, they're dodgy in that, but I don't reckon the customs people, you can tip them off. Other countries in that, Africa, Jamaica, different parts of the Mediterranean, yeah, you can get away with that. But in the UK, I don't think you can do that. I'm still trying to work out how they get drugs in through customs. They must find other means and other ways to get drugs in. Nah, I don't. I find that hard to believe that they will pay people off in the UK, man. I find it difficult to believe. That's a lot, but that's good. That's a lot, but you don't want to burn yourself out in it. Yeah, now I've done it. I weren't 17 though. I weren't 17, but I've done it though. Like I said, mentioned plenty of times working at that Holborn job and that. And yeah, man was doing 12 hours a day. And then if not 10 hours a day on the weekend, and that man was doing that for 4.5 months straight. If you can work as much as you can, yeah, if you can work as much as you can and that, but just take one day off here and there. But that's good, man. That's the ethic, that's the mindset you need to be in. Because I guarantee you see all these older people that are moaning about the gas and electric bill. I guarantee you, most of them, 99.9% of them, were not that 17-year-old working 12 hours a day, and they didn't continue that sort of mindset throughout their life. Because if you did, you would know where. There's no way, if you're working 7 days a week and that you have that work ethic about you and you carry that on into your adolescence to you're an adult, 30, 40, 50 years old, there's no way you'll be broke. There's no way that you're going to be struggling for gas and electric bills. No way. The people then that's struggling for gas and electric bills is the people that think doing 40 hours a week is enough. Taking 3 holidays a year, they feel like they're entitled to that. Man, work hard. I was even telling my coordinator the other day, if there's enough work until September, which there should be, I mean, that's only 3 months away. When I turn 30 in September, I'm going into work on my birthday. Listen, like, man, don't business about birthdays, you know. What man say in the past before? I'm gonna work so hard, every day gonna be like my Ross Clark birthday when I retire. I'm planning to retire by the age of 40, hopefully. So until then, man, I work. I don't care. I don't care about birthdays and because at the end of the day, do you know what? If the job I'd done was shit and I hated working, where I work and that, if I was working on a construction site, maybe I might take the day off, maybe. But this job that I'm at is so easy. I don't even feel like I'm at work. This is like I go to the tenants' houses and I feel like I'm at a social event. Literally, my job's that easy, and I don't even feel like I'm at work. I feel like I'm the caretaker of Northampton. Like I'm just minding the surrounding area and that. I don't business, man. I'm going this September the 21st. Put that in your Ask Clark diary, innit? Yeah, make sure you leave a comment or send me a little PayPal donation or something. You know me, I don't ask for nothing, but yeah, send man a PayPal donation or something on the 21st of September. But I'm going into work. I'm going into work. I might tell them, oh, I'm gonna finish at 2 o'clock or something. But I'm going into work. I'm on business. Let's see what now they're saying. If this for a few months, then go for it. It won't be sustainable forever. Yeah. It's not gonna be forever. No way. No way. Because when I was doing that 4.5 months straight for working every day for 4.5 months straight, when I had time off during Christmas, like, my God, my head was on fire, you know, like when your head's frying, like literally, I would get off the train certain days and I'll be walking and I swear I feel like I'm dizzy, but I'm not dizzy. I'm not gonna fall over, I'm not gonna keel over and anything, but just having to be like, and the thing is, my job, I was sitting in the office coordinating and that. But even still, even having to be alert, like my head felt like it was on fire certain days. I was so glad for that. Although obviously man's not getting paid and that during the Christmas period, and I was still glad for those few days off. The way man slept, boy. You know, you just feel heavy in your bed, blood. Man was in a partial state of death to blood clot the way man was sleeping. So, you know, that's the kind of thing for your birthday, man. That's me. Oh, that's nice. Respect for that. But yeah, you ain't gonna be able to sustain any. Just set yourself a little, I don't know, say, yeah, boom, I'm gonna do this every day for the next 2 months and that, then take a little break, man. Take a little break, man. Don't want to burn yourself out because literally, man was working so much and so hard that, like, one of my managers said, yeah, no, you're not coming in this weekend. We're banning you from the construction site. Man's all stropping, you know. Man's all having a little strop like a yeet, you know. So anyway, couple hours later, my project manager said, all right, you can come in on the weekend and that, but I need you to do some work. So you don't just sitting in the office. I need you to go out there and help the man them, like, whatever you need. Whatever you need. I don't business, but I'm getting paid £400 on Saturday and I'm getting paid £350 on Sunday. But I will shovel shit for you if you want, blood. Whatever you need, blood. Whatever you need. But this is the thing. This is why I was able to buy that property, the one, my flat. And this is why I didn't work for 12 months. Because beforehand, man made sacrifice, and I didn't know there was going to be COVID and get me the country was going to go into lockdown. I wasn't going to be working for 12 months out of choice. But I saved up so much money that I was able to live throughout COVID without working and buy a property afterwards. Madness. Telling you, them people there that complain about the gas and electricity prices and that, they could never tell you a time in their life where they work every day for 3-4 months straight. Because they don't have that work ethic about them. They're lazy. I made a video about this the other day and released it, yeah? Some woman is moaning that, and it was on Facebook, she can only afford to survive on 1 meal a day and that. Obviously, it's sad to hear, but I don't feel no remorse for her. Tough. Because this is the same person, 40-hour weeks, 3-4 holidays a year, I'm entitled. Nah. Put the brass clock working. Yeah, set yourself up for life. Set your youths up and that. Put the brass clock working. I know it's an unsuccessful woman. You know why? Because successful people who are like, I never heard Drake talking about how, you know, he has to eat 1 meal a day and all these things and that. Steve Harvey. No, these people have made something of their lives, set themselves up, set their grandchildren up, their great grandchildren up. My girl taught me. She's in the chat now. I said, how did you learn how to cook living on your ones? Before, man only knew how to cook. I mean, you can't call pasta cooking. You just boil that shit to blood clot. But man knew how to cook chicken. My mom taught me how to cook chicken. And then, what else? I think that was it, you know, literally. Other than beans on toast and all them things there. Yeah, literally. My girl taught me how to cook a whole chicken, different variations of chicken, like thighs and that. This ain't nothing that my mum didn't teach you. It's just that when I was up here, my girls come to see me, and then I will just watch and learn. And yeah, just basically just observe how she was cooking and that. So yeah, man, that's it, man. It's a good experience living on your own and that. Me, I never went to uni like that, so I never lived out on campus. So yeah, but even then, you slightly have it a little bit on easy mode and that, cause you have your friends around. Me, I'm up here on my own, but you get me. Man, I had to learn how to yeah. Don't get it twisted. Tonight, man had McDonald's because there ain't no food in my fridge, and I was gonna have a pot noodle, but I just thought, let me quickly throw on a jacket and go get McDonald's quickly. So not every day man's eating proper food and that. What's your views on teenagers wearing t-shirts worth £5 and jackets worth £1,000? Stupidness, bro. It's just dumb. It's dumb. I hate when I see parents dressing their youths, like the little 3-year-old and that, in Gucci and Moncler and that, like there's some Ross Clark fashion accessory. You know, these are the same parents that when their youths are struggling in school, let's say they're average at maths, English, and science and that. These are the same parents that ain't gonna pay for their kid to have private tuition, not private school. I'm not saying for them to enroll at Eton. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm talking about just normal private tuition. And that. So like my little sister was falling behind on her English and that. I actually was the one that kickstarted it and said to my mum and stepdad, listen, let's try and get her a tutor. There was actually one girl across the street from us that was tutoring her, and then they moved her on to somewhere else. So she was getting tuition and that for because she was struggling with maths, I think. There's parents out here, they dress up their youths like a fashion accessory and that early on when they're young. But when they get older and clothes are really expensive and that, they stop dressing up their youths in fashion accessories and all these clothes and that. But they don't also find the time and money to put their kids in private tuition. It's stupidness. How the hell are you back? You know what? It's just never been me. It's just never been me. Like even when I was in school, man was buying and selling crisp and drinks and that. Man was making money. Man didn't even need. I've always set myself up in a way where man don't even need my mum to break me off any money. My mum didn't have no money to break me off and that. There was no £5 every day. There was definitely no £10 a day for you know, sweets and chicken and chips after school and that. Man, I had to go to school and make my own money. And when I was making my own money, I was profiting like £20 a day. Now, obviously, that's nothing to us because we work. But bro, imagine being a youth man in school. You have no overheads, you pay no bills, and you're pocketing and profiting £20 a day. There's certain people right now, their bills is so mad, they don't even profit £20 a day when they work because they're living on the breadline, they're making ends meet. So man was in school and man was profiting £20 a day. Even when man was profiting £20 a day, profiting £100 a week, £400 a month. But man didn't buy no trainers, blood. Man didn't think, yeah, Gucci and Aqua watches. You remember them Aqua watches back in the day? That's how you know man's old now, blood. What? We're talking like what? 06 times when Aqua watches was in. Look a £100 watch and that. Yeah, man wasn't spending no money on no foolish clothes and that. If I needed a pair of trainers, I would have bought it. That's if I need. Other than that, I'm not spending no damn money. But these youths out here spending £500 on a t-shirt. That's dumb. That's dumb. I would never spend £500 on a Ross Clark t-shirt. What with these arms? Hey, listen, don't let me expose myself, you know. Come in, like, yeah, anyway. Don't let me give you something to mock me for in the future and that. But there's no way I'm spending £500 on a t-shirt. No way. That can't be real. No, I ain't heard about that. I ain't heard about that. But one second, let me just get a kind of quote quickly and then I'll just basically start talking about. This ain't going to be a long one anyway. at what age should a man them jump off the road? Boom. So let me get a coaster. Funny, I use this piece of tissue. So yeah, at what age should a man them jump off road? So when I was in school, there was one girl in my year group, and I just remember her saying it. I can't remember how the conversation came about, but she was like, nah, when man are still on road at the age of 16, 17, that's too old. She said this when we was like 15, 16, when we was in year 11, but at least at the end of year 10. I just remember this girl saying this to me, innit? Well, mixed-race girl from Edmonton. So anyway, boom. Looking back on it now, I would say when you're 18 and that's when you need to start throwing in the towel and retiring and that. Because you can't be at uni age, 19, 20, 21, still doing up the road thing. Nah, it's stupidness. It's stupidness. I was about to say it can affect your education. It also obviously can affect your education if you're in college and that, obviously. Because if you know anything about, man, if you've read my book or you've listened to enough videos and that, I dropped out of my electrical studies because I thought riding on them, man, was more important. I thought going to country was more important than finishing my electrical studies. Also, because I thought I failed an exam as well, which I didn't, but I just thought, I didn't study for it, bun it. Yeah. But I think when you're at the age of 18 and you're now old enough to go to uni, and it's time to throw in the towel. And don't get it twisted, there's man that's in uni still doing nonsense and that. Man heard them stories like in Peckham youths trapping in uni and that. I get it, man have to make money and that, but blood, you're gonna affect your education if you get caught trapping, plus hold a sentence as well, fam. It's not worth it, blood. At the age of 18, that's when you need to be like off road, off end, stop riding out and that. Because life is starting to get serious. When you get to certain ages as well, if you get a certain sentence, that's going to be the difference between you doing 17 years and 25 years. Let me just check my phone one sec. Whoever's following me on Instagram and that will know that basically beforehand, someone contacted me from Feltham and they said, yeah, boom, we want to use your videos to help rehabilitate the youth them in Feltham. Big up to the young G's in Feltham and that. But yeah, someone's contacted me from Feltham and said, yeah, they want to use your videos and that to rehabilitate the young youths in Feltham. That was like 2-3 months ago or something. The other day, man, got an email. There's one prison up in Leeds or Yorkshire or somewhere like that called Weatherby. Never even heard of it. They want to use my content and that. So anyway, man's responded back to the email, and then I phoned the guy as well, just to make sure he got that email, or at least he's heard me give him verbal confirmation and that. So I phoned him up like, yeah, get me his J, boom, 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 boom. Anyway, we started talking now, and he's saying, yeah, today a 16-year-old got given 17 years. I'm like, blood, that's older than his. How's your sentence older than your age, blood? That's a madness, blood. You know that youth there, that 16-year-old that got that 17-year sentence, you know, if he was 21, 22, whatever, you know, he would have been given 25 or something like that. The only reason why I got the 17 years is because he's a YOI, he's a young person. If he was a big man, 21, 20 something or whatever, they would have probably given him 25 years. Obviously, it's murder. It's murder. Some youths in Edmonton, from Edmonton and a couple of Green youths, they went Tottenham, stabbed that one youth. They didn't kill him, you know. It was just an AM, it's just an attempted murder. But they gave them like 23 years apiece. The youths, them is like 21, 22, blood. They give them a longer sentence than their age, blood. Imagine, these man that's 21, 22, that have been given 23 years, they might have a youth, you know. So you have to check it. This thing is mad, you know. Some of these sentences that some of these men get are so long that a 22-year-old that has a youth could be given a 23-year sentence and that, you know, his youth could have a youth. He could be a granddad before he comes out, you know. So this is the thing, this is what man don't realize, you know. If you carry a knife and you're, going, well, you're walking with potentially 19 years, 20 years, 25 years, you know. You don't know it, blood. You carry a gun, you're walking with 5, 6 years, blood. You know how much man I met, blood, in jail? What are you in jail for? Ganja. Yeah, man. Fam, and that's without bullets, you know. That's without it being loaded and get me ready to. It's long. It's long. Obviously, things happen in the heat of the moment and that's different. But man are planning, man are plotting to go out and do this and do that. Joint enterprise as well. That's the worst. There could be 10 man, 2 of them do the stabbing, but all of them go down for the same crime, get the same time, maybe a year less. Wow. Congratulations, you got a year less than 10 years like the rest of the 2 that done the stabbing. You could have just been there. But the reason why they'll give you joint, the reason why you get joint enterprise, you get banged up as well, because they will say, you knew that something was going to happen. You knew that those 2 guys over there, although you didn't have a knife, you didn't participate in the stabbing, you knew that those 2 guys over there was planning to do this and do that. So you're all guilty. Well, there's so much man in jail right now, blood. I'll say a good 10%, probably 20% of the population in jail, them man didn't even actively participate in the crime. I'm talking about all the gang members and that. I'm not talking about some crackhead and I'll get on to that in a sec. This is why this is the whole point of this live stream. I'm not even talking about the crackhead that's getting involved, but man them that are in gangs and that, there's bare man in jail, a good 10, 20% of man that didn't even do the crime. They were just there. There's one fat boy, I wanted to slap the shit out of him from Catford on my wing. You know that man there, he's just a troll and that. He told me, he's in jail for 10 years for a shooting, innit? So obviously, if a man told me he's in jail for 10 years for a shooting, I just figure, he done the shooting and that. Anyway, I've come out of jail, met one of the man them, and I said to him, because some of the man in that I was rolling with was mashing up some youths from like Lewisham size, innit? So I mentioned, did you know this one? Like, I know you lot was mashing up some of them youths. Did you know my man? He's like, that little fat prick. I was like, yeah, you know, he told me that he was in jail for shooting up or whatever. Really. He said, but that guy did not participate in no shooting. He was just there and he got bagged for 10 years, you know. This man want to talk about he's a gunman and that. He's plaiting man's hair on the Ross Clark wing, you know. What a knee, blood. The sentences is mad. There's certain man right now, and I watch these interviews and I know, man. In and out of jail, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. They literally just go in and out, in and out. But when I'm saying in and out, I'm not talking about a few months here and there. I'm talking about man are doing 4, man are coming out, doing 2, man are doing a 10, come out halfway through that sentence, but then he's getting recalled and that. Before you blink, you spent a couple of decades of your life in jail, bro. Fam, there ain't no funny stories on the road, blood. There ain't no fun stories on the road, man. Don't get it twisted. It's bad to say this, innit? Yeah, but you know, when I say funny stories, there ain't no comical stories. I don't know, get me, but the road thing, it can be fun at times, isn't it? Yeah, but fam, it's still not good though, man. Get me, man, get me, man, get a buzz out of you get me fighting, man, and mashing up, man, and that, innit? But bro, when people are getting stabbed and killed, that's when there's no more fun. It's fun when everyone can get up and dust themselves off, and then, but when man are getting stabbed and killed, that it's not funny no more, fam. It's not funny no more. My man's mum is not laughing, fam. Yeah, you ain't laughing when you're sitting in your cell. Bear man cry, blood. Yeah, bear man cry. They'll be on that Geo Amy or the circle bus going back to jail, blood. Going back to prison, technically, because jail is somewhere where you're on remand. You ain't been sentenced yet. But it's certain man, they're on that Geo Amy or that circle bus going back to their cell, knowing, no, it's official now. I got a G. More than likely, my barrister told me the sentencing guidelines for this crime here is all 10 years, 12 years, and that. I know I'm probably going to get around about that time. I might come out a bit earlier on good behavior and that. I might get a cat D when I'm out on the week, where I could come out on the weekends and that. But yeah, man are crying on the bus, crying in their cell. Man are suicidal. They want to hang themselves and that. Bear man in jail hang themselves. When I was in jail, I didn't hear anyone hang themselves or nothing like that. And there was man on my wing that were in jail for murder as well. But obviously, I was only in jail for 2 months anyway. But I didn't hear about any stories of man getting hanging themselves. But man's watched a few documentaries and that about prison. And yeah, man hang themselves. Yeah, but you know what? They still don't put man them off these sentences and that. Because I just watched something the other day. One youth must have stabbed someone in the chest. He was 19 from Brixton. Killed one youth. Now he's in jail for murder and that. He's old enough to know that, blood, if I stab someone and they die, I'm going to be in jail for a very long time. Man are not thinking. Man are just impulsive, flying off the handle. Yeah, you know what? If you want to fly off the handle with your fist, I'm all up for a fight. That's cool. But you don't want to be flying off the handle, pulling out and all this. No. No, 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 no. And the worst, IPP. So like, if you get a sentence that's like 10 years, 10 years, do 5, as long as your behavior is good, you come out after 5 years. You might even come out a little bit earlier if your behavior is really good. It just depends. But if you get IPP, you have to do the full sentence. And then you go up for parole for them to determine whether they feel you're fit mentally, yeah, to go out and integrate with the public, with civilians and that. If you're in jail for 4 years and you're mashing up, man, and you're getting into trouble, hiding phones, dealing in drugs and that, weed and that, all them things there, blood, and you're getting extra days and that, you ain't coming out after that 4 years. There's certain man right now, they've got 4 years IPP, so they have to do their 4 years sentence, and then they go out for parole. They've got 4 years IPP, but they've been in jail for 10 years. They're way over tariff because they don't know how to behave themselves in prison because they're still actively in a war on the wing or in the jail with man on other wings and that. Oh, this long, blood. So what inspired me to do YouTube? So basically, I went on to I tried to apply to go onto the Apprentice show and then I fucked it up. But anyway, I always wanted to go onto the Apprentice show, obviously to try and win, but I wanted to write a book and use the publicity of being on the show to sell a book, because I feel like man's got an interesting life story and that. That failed. So then I always still wanted to write a book. Never ever put any pen to paper, nothing like that. And then yeah, man was watching flipping man on YouTube, like man like AMS, other YouTubers talking about, yeah, man, they started YouTube, and I thought, you know what? Let me jump on YouTube, make videos talking about the streets and that. Man could talk from experience. Plus, man's not with this Black Lives Matter and this victim mentality and that. And yeah, man basically built up this whole YouTube thing and made these videos and that, just so I've got my own platform to sell my book. You have to check it. Man didn't need to go to no publishing companies like, oh, please, master, can you sell my book for me? Then you can take royalties off me. No. Or you get me, I get royalties for the book sales and that. Nah, I didn't need to do none of that. I just needed to get someone to print the books. So I have the physical product on me upstairs in my spare room. I'm selling it off of my own platform. But obviously, man, no, this is not going to happen overnight. I know I had to build up the channel for years to be able to get potential customers in that. So yeah, that's what inspired me to make YouTube videos and that. Me, I like to talk as well. So, and again, with this Black Lives Matter and this victim mentality, I ain't with that. I think life is easy and that. Remember, this ain't the 60s, you know. Black people, we don't have it hard no more. Yeah, back in the late 50s and 60s and that, no blacks, no Irish, no dogs. I made a video about this the other day. I made a video about every Ross Clark topic. There ain't nothing I ain't spoken about yet, I don't think. And when I think about it, when I think of it, I'll make a video about that. But anyway, yeah, no blacks, no Irish, no dogs and that. Back them times there, yeah, that was difficult, blood. Like, it was difficult for black people. They used to embarrass black people. I'm not sure if it was in America and or the UK, but like the white people then would go piss, the men would go piss in normal toilets, normal cubicles and that. The black people, the cubicles were as high as like hip height. So basically when a black man's sitting on the toilet, you can see him sitting on the toilet. It was a way to embarrass colored people of color, black people namely, maybe Asian people as well. I don't know if they were about in the country. This person must not have seen a video of mine ever before, and they must be new to this live, new to my channel. Yeah, man, I've been Joe before, just one time though, long time ago. Long time ago. But yeah, so I don't want to divert too much. So yeah, man, they should be getting off the road at the age of 18 and that. Man, they should be getting off the road at the age of 18. Because what's gonna happen is once you get into your 20s and that, you just get like, you get locked into the system and that. You could, all right, boom. So you're 16 and that, you finish school, you ain't bothered with college because you've been on the road. If you stay on the road long enough, you're gonna go to jail. So you might do look at 1 year there, 1 year there, whatever in it, yeah. Next thing you know, you're 21, you're 23, 24, you ain't got no qualifications. The only thing you know is jail and road. Blood, next thing you know, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50 years old, and you're doing dumb little criminal activities and that. I met a man the other day, blood. This girl said that her ex is on 26. But tell him, obviously, he's your ex. If you speak to him, tell him to come off road and tell him to watch my channel, blood. Yeah? Because he's too old to still be on road, blood. Anyway, obviously, like I said, man, work in this area and that, and I get the tenant's number. So I phoned up one of the tenants, innit? Boom. And when I'm chatting to him, obviously they're listening to the sound of my voice and that. So I could tell he was adapting the way he was talking to the way I was talking and that. So I knew, okay, when I meet this guy, I know he's going to be a man of color. I could just tell. So anyway, boom. I met him. He's like kind of mixed race and that. He's like half Puerto Rican and something or whatever. The whole time I'm in this guy's yard, you know, he's just telling me about the roads and him in and out of jail and that. And I was thinking to myself, this guy basically reminds me of a cat. Yeah, this guy's 50 years old, 49, 50 years old. And he literally told me, like, just in and out of jail, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. And basically, this guy is basically a cat. I could guarantee you, I'll put strong money on it. This guy will dab in a little bit of hard drugs here and there, if not full time. My man's just locked into the system, blood. Literally. in and out of jail, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. He told me, like, yeah, he basically said to me he has no qualifications and that he just does little a bit of work here and there. My man showed me the setup, you know, of him growing weed in his yard, the big fucking box and the tanks and the plant pots and that. This is what man have to do when they have no qualifications, blood. Little a homegrown thing. The man's basically a cat, blood. Literally. The reason why certain man become cats because they're in jail, and if you know anything about jail, there ain't nothing to do in jail. So blood, man, you know, give me that, man. Man start experimenting with drugs. Ket. You know what ket is, but ketamine, blood. Man are doing horse tranquilizer, spice, and all these weird kind of drugs. My brother told me yesterday, I was on my brother's yard yesterday. He told me that his cellmate ran out of burn, which is tobacco. So my man was using, you know, tea bags, blood. Tetley, PG tips. The tea leaves, obviously, it's all crumbled up. My man's smoking that. Because a man is so addicted to puffing on some kind of substance and that. Man's smoking anything. Man's doing anything just to pass the time. That guy that I was at his house on Tuesday or Wednesday, because obviously this week was a short week because of the Queen's Jubilee, innit? It was Tuesday or Wednesday. I guarantee you that guy is a cat in the end. He grew up in Northampton and that, and he told me, yeah, tell me all the local stories and that. Because blood, the funny thing about this area and that, yeah, when I meet, man, it's like I bring out the gangster in everyone, you know. Blood, listen. I had a gas engineer come to my yard, yeah. Next thing you know, I'm in my hallway. I'm sitting on my stairs and he's in my hallway, standing up. I'm sitting on the stairs. My man's telling me, I don't know how we got onto this subject, telling me about how he's got a gun and all them things there, blood. And I'm like, what the fuck? One removal man must have come pick me up because we need to move some mattresses from my yard to my flat and that. Before I even got to the top of my road, yeah, where I turn off to get me jump on the carriageway and that. Man's telling me, run Northampton and that. On the way back, my man's I'm saying to him, yeah, man, know this removal man. His name's such and such or whatever. He's like, yeah, I know him. You know what? Yeah, that guy got on my nerves, you know, because he was umming and ahhing and he made me dig up my gun out of the back garden and I give it to him and that. I'm like, how are these men even coming out with these conversations and that? I must just bring out the gangster and everyone like, yeah. How's a man stand? How's a gas engineer standing up in my yard telling me about how he's got a gun and that? I didn't talk about no gun. Yo, man, like Xavier, what go on? Yeah, so I'm talking about guns and shit like that, man. But yeah, so yeah, that guy there that I was talking to the other day, he has that cat vibe about him. Literally, he has that cat vibe about him, and it's so interesting to see like where a life of crime will lead you. It's gonna lead you nowhere. Most people think, oh yeah, a life of crime is just gonna lead you two places, either dead or in prison. No, yeah, you'll be dead or you'll be in prison, or you just be working some shit job, blah. Because you have no qualifications in that. You was too lazy to get yourself a skill or a trade. That's why I always bang about skills and trade. It's easy. It's easy to become an electrician and that. It just seems hard because who wants to do a 3-year apprenticeship at the age of 29? But I know a man who's done it. When I met a man, he was known as basically like the 30-year-old apprentice. He was 29 when he started. When I met him, he was like 31 or 30. So yeah, he was the 30-year-old apprentice. Sound like a Ross Clark movie. No one wants to do a 3-year apprenticeship. You get me? Apprentices are seen as that little skinny 16-year-old that ain't got no man body or nothing like that. Get me? Spotty faced kid and that. You don't want to be a grown-ass man still as a trainee and that. This is what happens when you waste your time, bro. You're in the same position as a 16-year-old kid. You at the age of 29 should not be doing the same shit that a 16-year-old is doing. Wherever I go, I'm always the youngest in the establishment, you know, like when I'm working and that. Always one of the youngest. I ain't really trying to say man's a child, I'm a prodigy or nothing like that. But man's educated myself. Man's level is so high that wherever I go, and that when it's to do with business and that, man's with people and flexing with people that's older than man. Now my job, when I was doing it at this job now, when there was more man doing the electrical testing and that, I was the youngest out of all of them. There was like 8 of us. No, apparently there was one young guy, but I don't know how old he is. I never met him. I never even seen him. Apparently there was one young guy. I don't know how old he was. I was more than likely the youngest, if not the second youngest in the team. Our man who's 40, 50 years old. All right, let me tell you something, yeah? You see the tenants, yeah? I'll phone them up. They know, oh, yeah, this guy's a black man and that. But you know when I turn up to their yard, you know they're shocked, you know? Like, think about it this way. If you don't understand what man's saying about being young on the job and that, imagine tomorrow, imagine I turn up to your yard to do an electrical test on your house. I have people question me and ask me for ID and that because they just think, nah, your face is too young. Because what do you think of when you think of an electrical tester that's coming to verify and make sure your electrical sockets are safe and that? You're thinking of an old, bald white man and that. Do you know why I'm in them positions there? Because I decided to educate myself. I didn't wait until I'm 40 years old and my knees are all busted up to get qualified and that. You know, literally, when you're up your level and that, you get to rub shoulders with man and flex with man that's older than you. But that's when you know you're doing something right. When you're flexing with man that's older than you. If you're always flexing with man that's younger than you, you're doing something wrong. There's man on the ends right now, 25, 30 years old, still running with the youngers. Is your name Duchesne, blood? Literally, I know, man. I know, man will laugh and just say, oh, yeah, Top Boy and that is fictitious and that. But, blood, I'm telling you right now, there is man like Duchesne still on the ends, blood. Not coordinating, you know, literally running with the pack, blood. Literally. You know, fam, you want to be a Duchesne. Do you know what Duchesne turns into? Brother, a Duchesne turns into a cat, blood. Let me tell you something about cats, yeah, on the road, yeah? If you're from the ends, wherever in it, Brixton, Edmonton, Tottenham, Hackney, wherever in it, yeah, Stonebridge, wherever postcode you're from, if you're from the hood, if you're from the ends, you will see some cats on the road, like black man, older man. They're like 50 years old and that. You'll see them and you see them as a cat and look down on it and think they're an idiot. I'm telling you, a lot of these men that you see on road that are cats now, the older black man, they were someone on the road, you know. I'm not saying they were the Cray twins and that, and they used to bland man in their head and that, but these men were man them on the ends, you know, back in the day, in the 80s and that, early 90s and that. But what happens is they stay on road so long, they become the road, fam. Literally, in Edmonton, blood, man, no cats and that. And man have told me, blood, you know, my man was, you get me, someone back in the day, you know. Literally, my mum's yard, there used to be some older woman, she's from St. Lucia. She had a son. He's a big man. So like, my mum and stepdad is both 50 now, but this guy might have been about 54. My stepdad said to me years ago, you know, my man used to be a someone on the ends, you know. Like I used to see him around Ferry Lane in Tottenham. And I used to, obviously, like when my stepdad was young, maybe like 13 years old, he said he used to look up to him just because he's like 17. You know, obviously, when you're 13 and you're 17, that 4-year age gap is mad. So my man used to look up to him and they're like, yeah, we're one of the guys and that. He said, now he just looks down on him. So what happens when you stay on road too long, you become a cat, blood. Just like that guy I said I was chatting to, I was in his yard. That guy's a cat, blood. He says, oh yeah, he buns weed and that. But that guy, if he's bunning weed and he ain't started crack yet, he's one spliff away from being a cat, blood. I tell you that for free, blood. If that guy isn't already taking heroin, shooting up heroin and smoking crack and that, He is one spliff away from being a cat, blood. On my life. On my life. Man, I go in jail for dumbness, burglaries, and come on, bro. Look, Xavier's laughing, you know, cuz. Bro, it's not a joke, cuz. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's funny. But literally, there's one guy, one interview I watched. It's so funny, but it's sad. This guy, yeah, was one of like them Brixton man and that. But now, like, he was a someone back in the day. Like, but man was reading the comments and that, and they were saying that this guy was like Omar from The Wire, blood. You know, that man, they just pull up and rob everyone and that. Now, my man, he's basically a cat, blood. I see an interview talking about he spent 17 and a half years in jail or some mad numbers like that. Obviously, it's not a straight 17, obviously, but it's in and out, in and out, in and out. It's long, blood. I'm telling you right now, yeah, there's certain man that you know right now, between the age of 18 to 25, they was the guy in the ends. I'm telling you, a lot of them man there, they're gonna be that cat that I was telling you about in 20, 30 years' time. Man fall off. There was even one Asian cat that man used to see about. My brother said to me, you know that guy, he used to be a millionaire, you know. Now he's a cat. Probably some kind of depression took him and he thought, you know, I'll take to drugs. Drugs is not the way, man. One of the man them, his mum passed away, unfortunately. Now he's actually on crack. This is a man, like, he weren't man them like A-team, but yeah, I mean, he was a normal black brother in the ends, innit? Yeah, not someone that you think would ever take to crack. I started doing taekwondo because I used to always be into like watching them Bruce Lee films and that. So yeah, my parents thought it was a good idea to send me there, innit? Youths, you have to keep them occupied and that. Yeah, youths for do extracurricular activities and that after school. Yeah, so if it's not taekwondo, then it's swimming. If it's not swimming, then it's running. If it's not running, then it's table tennis. Yeah, you have to keep your kids them occupied and that. Stop all this flipping. What they play? What them used to play? Roblox and Fortnite. Man, stop all that. I'm not saying when I was a youth, man didn't used to play video games and that, but man wouldn't be in on a summer's day playing no video games and that. Man, out on the road, blood. Not keeping up badness, but man was just out on the road, blood. Yeah, I see one meme the other day. It was funny. Something about like 90s kids will remember this or something, innit? And I always like reading them and looking through the pictures and that kind of brings back memories. And it was like children of today, and there was a picture of these little kids on the Xbox and that in a room. And it was children from the 90s, and there was a picture of about 10 bicycles just on the floor. Yeah, that's the era that I'm from, bro. In Edmonton. I know everywhere in Edmonton, but there ain't nowhere I don't know in Edmonton, bro. You know why? Because us, man, used to jump on bicycles and go riding and that, go exploring the ends, blood. These youths nowadays, they don't even know what the road around the corner from them is called, blood. Because they're just hooked on the PlayStation. They become an introvert from day one, you know. Certain people, they grow into introversy or whatever you want, Ross Clark call it. Now, these youths are born introverts and that. But they just sit at home all day playing video games. And then man want to wonder why they can't get on to gal and talk to gal. But they're socially awkward. Yeah, I mean, there are some people that could beat me up, obviously, but yeah. But look, at the end of the day, yeah, man has to be completely honest in that. And I made a video about this the other day. Told you, man, I made a video about everything in it. I'm not no saint, blood. Yeah, let's just get this thing clear in it. Since I've been up in Northampton, I've had to mash up 6 people, 4 on one occasion, and then 2 on other 2 separate occasions. I've had to set it on about 10 people on that. But you know what, man, don't use no weapons in that. There was one occasion, someone tried to pull out a weapon on me, so I had to get me and stand my ground and that. And I did get nicked for it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie in it, yeah, because bro, I'm not gonna come on here and act like man some saint and that. Yeah, but the thing got dropped in that because there was some false allegations against me in it. But you get me? It's fun to have a fight and that here and there in it, yeah. But all that pulling out weapons and stabbing people and going to jail, but it's long. It's long. But man, I thought I have to throw that in there. Innit? At the end of the day, people are trying to test me when I'm up here, innit? Yeah, and I'm gonna show you in it. Yeah, I ain't backing down. Bro. Can't stand and balance on one again. You know? Yeah, yeah. Where's that? Who said that? Who quoted that? Where's that quote from? So yeah, I ain't no Ross Clark safe. Since I've been up here, I've had to punch up a few people and that. But that's because they're starting trouble, innit? Don't start none, ain't gonna be none. Come on about that for real, blood. But get me, I ain't gonna be using no weapons. Only if I need to defend myself. The thing I don't like about this area is in Northampton, everyone thinks they're a tough guy. You see, man, talking about cats. Blood, in Northampton, a cat will screw you, you know. Yeah, a cat will be, I screw your like what? Be watching you, you know. Like, you're a fucking cat, blood. Trying to watch, man. Like, everyone in this area thinks they're a tough guy. Do you know why they think they're a tough guy? Because there's no one in this area to test them, so they get away with it. In the ends, blood, like I have more people watching me up here than in the ends. I swear, on my life, blood. When I go to the ends, Edmonton, Tottenham, I have more man up here watching me than down there. Literally, this area is a funny area, but everyone thinks they're a bad man because they can get away with it because there's no one to test them. Don't get twisted though. I do hear that there's a couple of you stabbing each other and that around here, so maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But they, whether they shook with me or not, they know if they start trouble, it's gonna be a situation, isn't it? That's where it is, isn't it? Like I mean, I don't go around starting trouble with no one, you know. It's just if I have stupid people that live next to me and they're doing something dumb, well, I'm gonna have a problem with it, innit? That's it. Man, I'm not no like these don't need to be thankful that they got a neighbor like me, you know. See, I'm a young Jamaican man, yeah. But you don't hear me playing no loud music. There ain't no antisocial people coming around. I don't bun weed. Literally, like I'm like one of the best behaved neighbors ever. But man's got a bad reputation on this estate because I'm surrounded by idiots. And I'm not a man to not say none. Get me? I'm gonna go knock him. Flipping stupidness, bro. Like people outside at midnight shouting. It's like, Papa, shut up, man. It's Thursday night going into Friday morning. Have some respect for your Ross Clark neighbors. It's not an emergency. What are you shouting for? Man ain't got. I had no problem with none of my neighbors on my mum's road. No problem with none of them. Man lived there all 20. 21 years. The only problem I had the other day when I had to get me, someone tried to talk to my mum, and I ain't having that. They got to learn that the lady at number 2 has a son who's a fucking lunatic, blood. It's only because I didn't know them. That's why I'm gonna have to feel like I have to get me set levels and that, set boundaries and that. If I knew them, grow up around them, and I don't think I would have really cared if they got into an argument with my mum, unless they're up in my mum's face and they're talking mad. But because I don't know that, they don't know me, because they moved to my road when I left, so they don't know who I am. I had to go and educate them and show my face, blood. But yeah, man, never get off road, man. Man, never get off road. I'm gonna try and make a video in the next few days how to get out of a gang, and that's basically gonna be for the young youths in jail. Because if you come out of jail and you're still flexing with the same people, you're still in the same. You're falling down a rabbit hole. The reason why I was able to escape from the streets and that is because I got a job as an apprentice, starting my career as an electrician, that I weren't rolling with them and I weren't riding out with them, man. Certain man, I don't even like to see certain man, you know. I ain't got a problem with them. Them man, they are cool. But it's like, if I see certain man, I know they're not doing nothing with themselves. They're the same age as me. They're between the age of like 28 to 30, but they're the same age as me. But if I see them, I ain't got nothing to talk to them about. So I feel like I'm going back in time, blood. What am I going to say to them? What's the road saying? Because I know these men are not doing that. I cannot have a conversation with a man that I know he's not working or nothing like that. Unless I know a man on a deep, intimate level, that man that I grow with. And I know a man that I grow with that don't work now, who's still on nonsense, basically. But man know them personally, like proper, like that was, you get me? So man can have a conversation. But man that man used to just rub shoulders with and that, and man don't know them on an intimate level, but I know they're still on nonsense and that, because man don't come off road, really. I ain't got nothing to talk to you about. I don't even want to see these, man. I feel like I'm going back in time. Before I blink, I look down, I got a green bandana in my hand like I'm about to ride out. No. Long. No, I don't want to be around certain man. StreamYard is a website where you can obviously stream to your YouTube channel. So if you got a YouTube channel mobile, then just type in streamyard.com and bam, start live streaming. I think everyone uses StreamYard, to be fair. The ones that, because obviously, like, where is it? Over here, you can see the StreamYard icon there. If you pay for it, then it removes the watermark in it. So you know, I was talking about earlier about the 3 routes out of jail. I mean, three avenues of being on the road, and I'm saying in prison or dead. And obviously, one was getting a shit job. I don't think I even finished that point in that. But yeah, there's certain man, they don't die and they don't end up in jail. Or they do end up in jail and they come out and they think to themselves, you know what, time to change my life around, yeah, and get on the right path. But it's difficult for them because they don't want to be an apprentice at the age of 29 for the next 4 years. They don't want to have to go to college for 3 years. They don't want to have to study in that. So what do? They get some shit job as like a postman or a delivery man, earning 1,300 for the month. And then they think to themselves, blood, I could have earned this money in a day. I know, man. What's that? Hold on. Man said, is there good money to be made OT? The answer is no, fam. The answer is no, blood. But yeah, I know, man. You get me? There's certain man out here, they will get a job as a postman or delivery man earning 1,300 a month. When they was on road, they was earning £1,300 a day on their own schedule. No one to tell them what to do. No boss to talk mad to them just because their boss is on 50p more than them. Blood. Imagine that. Cause so most of you lot can't imagine being on £1,300 a day. I never made no money like that when I was on the road. But I can just see the numbers and that. Imagine being on £1,300 a day to then have to work for £1,300 a month. And you know, I can put myself in that perspective. Man earn 300, maybe 360, depends on how much jobs I do in a day. Man earn them kind of money there. So for me to go and work for £190 a day, no, I'd rather be unemployed until the right job comes along. And the margins, look at the margins, blood. So I'm talking about a man coming off road who's earning £1,300 a day to then earn £1,300 a month. That's a big margin. Whereas me as a legit man, a man who's an electrician, electrical tester, and that doesn't even want to go from 300 or 250 a day to £190 a day. That's just some small margins. Imagine, and then remember, you have to transition into the workplace as well. Yeah, you ain't just gonna be able to come off road and just go straight into the workplace and that. You have not been you have not come out of no institute. See, it's easy to go to school, go to college, go to uni, then get a job. You know, there's a certain code of conduct you need to follow. There's certain rules you need to follow when you're in school, college, and that, or else you get kicked out. And that. So you're used to following rules. When you're on road for 10 years, as long as you don't get caught by the police and that, bro, you're your own boss. No one's telling you nothing, bro. You're already in the mindset of not having to follow rules. So let's just put the money aside for a bit. Forget about the £1,300 a month as opposed to earning £1,300 a day. Imagine having to go into an environment where you have to follow rules, blood. You don't know how to settle your disputes and that. Because obviously, if you settle your disputes with your fists and that, you ain't going to have a job. You'll get fired, quick, soon. So you can't go into the workplace and settle your disputes with your fists. You have to learn to articulate yourself. But certain men don't know how to articulate themselves because they haven't needed to. Because all they know is sticking it on, man, and if that don't work, I'm going to box a man in his face and that. There is a fucking idiot outside revving up his engine. Look, I can see smoke in it. It look like he's doing a burnout. It's 9:15, bro. That's what I'm talking about, bro. What's it saying? Why can't you see pay in cash? You're going to have to elaborate on it. I don't understand what that means. Why can't you see pay in cash? Oh, shoot. You're not talking to me. Yeah, when you lot are talking to each other in the chat and that, try at people as well, yeah? So I or whoever don't get confused who you're chatting to and that. So yeah, there's a transition that needs to happen, bro. What's going on, soothing window? There's a transition in it. Forget about money and that. You the transition into the workplace. It's gonna be a culture shock for you, I'm telling you. Remember, civilians and normal people do things differently to man on the streets and that. This is not the jungle, blood. It's a different institute, it's a different system. There's rules to follow. I'm not talking about working for some removal, man. I'm talking about you in a corporation, whether you're at the bottom, it don't matter really. You work for the local council and that. You can't take the law into your own hands and that. Yeah, it's a big transition in that. So anyway, what happens is certain man them, they fit to yourself, blood. I'm earning £1,300 a day, £1,300 a month. When I used to be earning £1,300 a day, I have to get up and get to this location for this time. I'm not allowed to leave until that time. In between that time, I'm taking nonsense and man's talking to me a certain way, or man's demanding of me, and a man's on 50p more than me. You know what, brother? And listen, I put man on in it, yeah, because and next you know, he's back on road. Easy. I know, man. I know, man. Man them. Man them. That man know. Man that I grow with and that. Never had a proper job in their life. Decided to work out of bookies and that. He had to transition into the workplace, which did not work. Ended up sticking on his manager, got fired, back on road. Because remember, he was on road the whole time with no qualifications and that. So he had nothing to fall back on, bro. You see me, this is what I'm saying. Man, forget a trade, electrician, plumber, carpenter, whatever in it, or a good education. So you have something to fall back on. So that let's obviously, I'm not saying the alternative is to go on road so that if that fails, then you jump back onto your trade. But like, if you want to start some kind of business venture on that and it fails, well, you can just fall back on your trade or your education if you're a lawyer or something like that. These man, they have nothing to fall back on. So when they decide to go legit and they don't work out, they have no other avenues apart from the road. So a man's not going to get fired from Ladbrokes or fired from William Hill or Coral and that and think, yeah, let me go to another place. Like, nah, why am I going through the stress of having a white man interview me who only earns £1,500 a month when I was earning that money in a day? I don't respect you. So you know what? I'm back on the road. It's too easy, blood. It's too easy, but it's short-lived. It's short-lived. What comes fast, goes fast. You know how much man have been at the top? Like I said earlier, that cat, the Indian cat that was a millionaire, he's a cat now, blood. Happens. I know Scarface is a film now, but you see my man sniffing coke and all them things there. His head's in a mountain full of coke and that. I guarantee you, if that film went on long enough, obviously, and they fast forwarded time and that, if that was a real situation that and he didn't get killed in a mansion, it would be a cat. It would be a cat. You can't be on top forever in those games. You're going to fall off one day, dead or in prison. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, at the people them, at the people them. Yeah, there is a hierarchy, bro. But yeah, there's a few Deshanes out there, innit? You don't want to be that guy, fam. Yeah, it's fun. It looks fun and that, but trust me, it ain't fun, bro. Even shit like in Top Boy, man are getting kidnapped and that, like, blood. Fam, you don't want to put yourself in a position to be kidnapped, blood. That's a violation, bro. That's long. Literally, like, I'm watching Top Boy now, and I'm not just watching it for entertainment, although, listen, it was entertaining, boy, to say the least, bro. Man was literally sitting on the edge of my bed, yeah? And, but yeah, whilst I'm watching it and that, man's thinking about, like, putting this in real life perspective. That's what I'm saying, like, how they getting the drugs into England and that. Like, Nadia's saying, oh, yeah, they're going to pay people in the UK and that. I'm not buying that, though, man. I don't think so. I just don't think so. Obviously, there are dodgy cops and that. I made a video about this, talking about the police is the biggest gangsters and that. And basically, there was some local syndicate of police officers, and they were going and robbing the drug dealers. They were getting a drop on them, and they were running up on their exchanges and that, and then taking all the drug dealers' money and food and that. So there are dodgy police officers and that. But people at customs and that, I don't know. Obviously, it is a big possibility and an easy possibility that they could get paid off and that. But I can't see it happening. Not in the UK, man. Not in the UK. But the two most dramatic scenes for me was obviously the one where the girl tried to escape from the boyfriend from Liverpool, the madman, and he almost caught her when he ran up to the the taxi and that, and they managed to get away. But that fucking dog next door. But the next scene, which was deep. Remember when Deshane was in court and he was at my man's court hearing and that, and then the white girl stood up and gave the little speech or whatever in it, and he saw her and he basically lost his breath because he realized, blood, I've been selling to that cat, well, what I thought was a cat, for the last 2 years and that. She was an undercover police officer. I met Bear Man in jail as well, you know. What are you in jail for? Selling to the police, blood. Shot into undies, blood. It's long, blood. When you're on road, yeah. Let me tell you something about shotting on road and in OT and or both and that. Blood. You're not just ducking from the feds and that. You're not just ducking from let's say on road, yeah, when you're shotting and that, you're gonna be avoiding the police, innit? Yeah, that's obviously an obvious one and that. But you're gonna have beef with man as well. Man are gonna try and rob you as well, you know. So these are the parts that man don't talk about and that when it comes to the road thing and that. But man, when man was out in OT, blood, there was some Hackney youths that man was out there with. They was talking about how they robbed some Peckham youths and that. Furthermore, fuck the cats, fuck the police and the man there, brother. A cat might pitch you, you know. There's one Newt in Enfield. He got killed by a cat and the cat hid his body up in the loft for about 6 months, blood. Yeah. So you're ducking from the police, you're ducking from other man them, or you're beefing other man, because man gonna try to take your tigs, and then you could be potentially killed by a cat. You're sleeping in a drug user's house that has unstable mental, they're mentally unstable, blood. Blood, it's not safe, blood. Yes, man, like, no, shit. This is my guy from school, you know. I'm coming off in a bit anyway. You can watch the playback, fam. I met Nadia online, you know. But yeah, man, the road thing is long, fam. You got too much to lose, too much at stake. It's not worth the the risk is not worth the reward. No way. No way, man. You can lose your life. You can end up in jail. You're gonna lose loved ones and that. And blood, when you're in jail, you see all of this Edmonton or Tottenham or Brixton or Hackney, all of this ends thing, but that don't mean nothing on the side of that iron door, you know. I'm telling you that. None of your brethren are coming to visit you, blood. You're on road, you get hit up with 10, 20 years and that. Yeah, for the first year or two, your man them and that. Yeah, blood, they'll be coming to see you once a month if you're lucky. Blood, 5 years in, when them man there, if they're working, hopefully they're working, they got youths, they got responsibilities and that. Blood, they're not coming to see you, fam. They're not coming to see you, blood. Yeah, you write them, they might write you back. You phone them, when they see your name pop up on the phone, blood, they're like, oh, my man. Because they know you're in need. Yeah, you're in you get me, a semi-desperate situation and that. Man don't even want to answer your phone calls because no one likes to reject people. Man don't want to see Andre pop up on my phone because I know Andre, oh, brother, can you send me £50 and that? That's long. That is long. Man, I start avoiding your calls and that. You get them long sentences and that. It's just you and your sentence. Forget about your brethren. You can forget about them. You know anyone who's in jail doing some long sentences and that 5 years plus and that, ask them how often their brethren come and see them throughout the year. Ask them, if you know anyone that's done a 10-year sentence, ask them how often their friends came to see them throughout that 10-year sentence. Ask them, whoever came to see them the most, ask them how often they came to see them. You go jail for 10, 20 years, but you're dead to the outside world. You're basically dead to the outside world. You forget about the outside world. The only time you see the outside world is through your screen on your TV, blood. Yeah, you can communicate with the outside world and that, but yeah, you're dead to the outside world, blood. Long. It's so much easier to just think to yourself. See, man make it hard though. It's so much easier to say, you know what? Let me go broke for the next 4 years and live humbly. Forget about gal. Forget about going out to a club. Let me get an apprenticeship and that. And then afterwards, then man can live life with that. Man don't want to do it. Because man want things overnight, blood. If you don't make sacrifice as soon and as early on, then you're gonna feel it in the future. It's not just about getting apprenticeships and that. If you want to go and take out cars on finance and lease and that and run up credit card bills and go on all these holidays and that where you have to put down, use your credit card to put down a deposit and pay it off for that, but you're going to feel it in the future. You're going to feel it in the future. There's people out here right now planning to go on holidays soon and they're talking about putting down a deposit for a holiday, but they're still paying off for another holiday. They're still paying off for their previous holiday. That don't make no sense, blood. You're just racking up debt, more and more debt, blood. Instead of thinking to yourself, do you know what, yeah? Until I'm working 60 hours a week, I'm really making some sacrifice, putting some money away. Let me tell you something right now. Don't go on holiday unless you're paying for that holiday in cash. If you can't afford to pay for that holiday in cash, don't go. You don't deserve it. Your cash that you have is a representation of your hard work. So if you have no cash, then you're probably not working hard enough. If you say to yourself, yeah, I'm working hard, I'm doing 60 hours a week and that, but I ain't got no cash, that's because you're making up for what you've done in the past. You're in the minus, you're in the red, whatever they want to call it. You don't deserve no holiday until you get me. You're working, you got enough money to save up. And let's see what the chat's saying. Yeah, I'm coming off in 5 minutes. Put your last few questions in or whatever. Don't worry, man. Don't worry, man. There'll be more live streams to come. This one just off the dome. Had a few conversations with a couple man lately. Yesterday, today. I was just talking about man that are still on road. So yeah, so basically I was talking to one of my cousins today, and we started off talking about electrical stuff. And somehow we got on to talking about man that are still on road. And that. My older cousin's, how old is he? He's about 15 years older than me or something, isn't it? So but yeah, we was talking about man that is still on the streets, still getting themselves into trouble. There's man who's 45 years old, still getting into beef with man at funerals and that. Don't get it twisted. You can have a punch up with someone anywhere, yeah, but it's why you're getting into punch ups with man as well. Man, I'm 45 years old, and man can't even just switch it off just for that funeral. No, man's at a funeral, 45 years old. I still need to beef, but certain man is just mad. And I was saying he's probably mad because he's probably doing some kind of drugs. That's what happens when you're on the road long enough. You end up turning into a cat, especially the people who are like 50, a late 40 years old, and that. A lot of them are on drugs because they're from the 80s and that, where black people thought it was okay to do crack. Them man, they were smoking crack like it was weed. Them man, they was like 55 years old and that. A lot of them man there smoke crack because they used to smoke crack like weed back in the 80s. Bro. I'm not saying that, different. I'm not saying that just because you go to a funeral and that you can't get into a local pastor and that. Pastor could come out of nowhere, innit? Yeah. Me, I'm a man find trouble at anything, innit? Yeah. I could be anywhere and get into a local pastor and that, but man for still try and, you get me, avoid certain situations, especially when you're at a fucking funeral. Obviously, if a man tests you and that, I ain't saying to back down. defend yourself, innit? But certain man ain't even that. Certain man just find trouble at anything. Certain man just attract trouble. I'm one of them still. Not gonna lie. Like, so man go on these ride outs and that and link up with them bike man, them, innit? And every time I go, I'll always find one guy to have a standoff with. You know, like just it's so stupid, innit? But man even get roped into, you know, like man having a standoff, a little staring match with man, innit? There's always one guy that thinks he's bad out of the bunch. There could be like 30 man. I will somehow find this one guy and we'll be having a standoff and that. Gets on my fucking nerves, man. But it never materializes into anything in that. I get it. Some man just find trouble at anything and that's me sometimes, isn't it? But yeah, man have to try and control it sometimes, boy. I'm not gonna lie. I'd love to know what my life would be like if I was still on road, you know. Literally. If I was still on road, I mean, I probably would have done a few sentences here and there, 2 years, 3 years here and there, because I'm 29 now, so I would have enough time to get me do a few 2-3 year sentences and that. Probably have a couple youths. There wouldn't be no JYs, blood. Yeah, you can forget that. You don't want to be watching this live stream right now. This house would not exist, blood. This house would not exist. Yeah, I wouldn't have no properties. I would not be no electrician. Yeah. But it just goes to show we will have a choice. Ah, that's nice, man. Respect. Never heard of you though, you know. Like, never seen you in the comment section, none of the videos of that. I'm your favorite YouTuber, come as the realist, blood. Yeah. Man talk about, you get me, the streets and that. I ain't no saint, blood. Man will still get into a little fisty up with man, innit? Yeah, but that's all it's gonna be, blood. Yeah, that's all it's gonna be. I'm gonna defend myself. I ain't gonna let no one try to punk me or nothing. Yeah. Yeah, 5 baby moms. Yeah, maybe. Definitely couple youths in that. Cause certain man, when them man they're on road, them man they don't think long term. Them man they're just reckless. They don't care. Them man they just care about what's going on now. Yeah, I need to get peas and that, and I'm unloading this girl and them things there. They don't care. They don't think about. And I know they're not thinking about setting up their kids and that. See, some man will delude themselves. I think, yeah, man's trapping. I'm just trapping to make sure my kids don't have to grow up the way that I'm growing up. That's bullshit, blood. You're trapping yourself, blood. You're trapping your youth by putting yourself in the position where you could go to jail and that. I don't know one kid, one person that's my age or of any age. I don't know one person who their dad was a drug dealer and that, and they're set for life and they're doing well. Every person whose dad was a drug dealer, they're in that same dirty, they're living in a dirty council house, bro. Yeah, they're not doing well. Yeah. So man talking about, oh yeah, man's trapping so my kids don't have to live rough and that. That's bullshit. I don't know one person, their dad was a drug dealer, and now they're living in the suburbs, living some middle class lifestyle, or living, you get me, living above average and that. It's bullshit. Man are lying to themselves. Talking about this is for my youths and that. If it really was for your youths, yeah, you would fucking. I stop swearing as well. If it were really for your youths and that, you'd be thinking to yourself, you know what? I can't have my kids visiting me in a detention center and that. There's mums that have to take their kids to a detention center where their dad is held in prison, and they have to lie to the child and say, yeah, we're going to see your dad. He's on holiday at the moment. And that. A little kid will go to school and say to their friends, and oh, my dad's on holiday. My dad's in the army. Yeah, my dad's in the army. There's little kids right now, they think their dad is in the army. No, your dad's in prison, bro. Their mum is smuggling in drugs. Yeah. Their mum, when they go to French kiss their dad, they're passing drugs along and all them nonsense and that. Their mum is putting themselves in a position where the youth can't see his dad because the dad is in jail. Then the mum could get bagged and end up in jail. Well, you think a woman that gets caught smuggling drugs into jail ain't gonna end up in jail herself? Yeah, she's not gonna end up in that jail in Pentonville, but she'll be across the road in HMP Holloway for women. Is there a rapper in the UK? Man made a video about this. A girl must have had one rapper as a boyfriend or whatever in it. Well, she probably thought he was her boyfriend. She probably just one ting on the side or whatever. She tried smuggling drugs for my man. Boom, or a phone. I think it was a phone or drugs or something in it. Try smuggling a tech or some food in for the man, for the guy. End up going to jail. So now her youth is like in, oh no, not police protection. Not, was it child service or whatever in it? You know when a kid gets fostered and that. What kind of reckless mindset is that? That make no sense, blood. How are you gonna put yourself in a position where you could get your child taken away from you? Even me and my girl, me and Nadia watched one black girl. She's from Peckham. She was holding guns for the man them. Next thing you know, armed police are at the door, bare red dot lights on her and that. Imagine that. Imagine having the police come to your door with a red, and they're putting red dots on you. It's bad enough. Blood, I had the police come to my yard and they pulled out a taser on man, you know, because there was false allegations and that. Yeah, I ain't gonna go into too much details. And yeah, they come to my yard. That's what I say, I'm not no fucking saint. Yeah, but you know, sometimes things happen and that. They come to my yard and literally keep your arms where we can see them and move slowly. And I pulled out a taser on man, innit? Not a nice feeling to know that someone can either shoot you or taser you. And let me see this comment. Salute Jay, my 2 cents. It destroys the chances of leading a legit life when you realise it's not such much. Yeah. There's certain things that if you have on your criminal record and that, and we're not even talking about no mad sexual charges or nothing like that. If you have gun charges and that on your criminal record and that, blood, that will mark you out forever in certain industries. Because certain charges, they're not spent or whatever in it. Yeah, it's unspent or whatever. So it's always there. It's always there. You mess yourself up, man. I watched one interview and that the guy told me something about he got 18 years IPP, blood. I think they lowered his sentence though, innit? Yeah, and gave him that he appealed the sentence and that, and then got like a lower sentence. But they wanted to make an example of him. So this is the thing. Sometimes certain man they get examples made of him. Like I said, them youths from Edmonton and Wood Green that went to Tottenham and stabbed up that youth. They wanted to make an example of them because, listen, man, just talk the real thing in it, yeah. And I don't care what anyone thinks. If a man stabs someone, I don't care if it's intent and that, yeah. If man go out and do a stabbing, if the person does not die, it does not warrant them getting 23 years. No. That's too long. That's too long. I say maybe give them 10 years so that they can come out and actually have a decent shot at life and that. 23 years for a stabbing is too long. For someone that was not critically injured, they're not paralyzed, they're not in a vegetative state, and they didn't die. 23 years is too long, blood. Someone told me in the comment section I'm wrong. I ain't saying that, yeah, oh, it's a stabbing, oh, it's all right, yeah. Just community service. No. If the judge wanted to give them 10 years to make an example of them, then fine. But 23 years because some boy stabbed someone else, that is way too long. Someone in the comment section argue with me. Yeah, he could have been killed, fine. But he didn't die though. Yeah. He didn't die. I'll get back to this in a sec, yeah? No, I didn't. No, let's answer it now. I didn't buy the whole house. Well, you think I have 130 grand in cash? This 136? No, yeah. £136,000 in cash to put down and buy this yard. No, I had to put down a 10% deposit, blood. Nadia, handle this one here for me, innit, please. Nadia's my little PA. But I can't remember what I was fucking saying now. Yeah. 23 years is too long for youths that have done a stabbing. I'm not saying it's right. Man's not saying that. By the end of the day, the youth did not die. He still has all his faculties. He's not in a vegetative state. He hasn't got a shit bag. He's just a normal, he just lived his life like he just got punched up or whatever, innit? It's not enough. This has been going on for a while, innit? Like, I know an older man and his brethren done a robbery back in the day on a bus, and he was 16 and the judge gave him 6 years. Now, obviously, if you're 16, when I say like man are doing 6 years, 10 years, they don't do the whole 10 years. They don't do the whole 6 years. But if you get slapped with 6 years, then you're going to do 3 years, then you'll come out on license. If you have good behavior, you might come out after 2 years and 8 months or whatever. Now, they might change the system now, whereas when you get 6 years, you just have to do exactly half and then you come out or whatever. Innit? But if you get 6 years, more than likely you do 3 years and you come out on license. That means that if you fuck up in that time whilst you're on license, you're getting recalled. You might have to do the whole of your sentence, but you're going back to jail for some amount of time. I could have got recalled. When I came out of jail, I must have come out of jail for about a week, and I punched up some man on my estate and that, and the community officers running towards me. I had to go. I had to bust out. If I had got nicked, there would be no JYs, there'd be no apprenticeship. I was not thinking. When I was on road, when I came out, I was just a fucking maniac on the road. I was not thinking. If I was thinking, I wouldn't have got stabbed that time as well. Because I'm going to Tottenham, and I know I got beef with man. I was beefing the whole fucking world, man. What am I talking about? Just did Tottenham. I got beef with man in Tottenham. I'm getting off a bus when I'm going to my taekwondo class. I'm punching a man in the face. I should have thought to myself, you know what? And I wrote about this in my book. If I'd remembered that I was actually on license technically, meaning that if I get into any rumpus, any nonsense and that, man will be back in jail. I wouldn't have punched that youth in the face. Then I wouldn't have gone into my taekwondo class. I had 5 men waiting for me to stab me, chase me and stab me. So I'm saying these men on the road are not thinking. I was one of them. Not thinking. Dumb stuff. Man, I don't want to talk too much just in case you get me, but you get me. Man, I'm not thinking when 20 men are jumping on a bus for one man and so someone get me pierced and that. Yeah. Blood, all of you lot are going to jail for that. Spoke about this earlier. I told you about the joint enterprise. And yeah, one person done it, but the 19 of you that was there, or the ones that we pick out through CCTV on the bus, you'll go in jail 7 years for that juking that he did. That you weren't even close to the victim, but you was there. You was on the bus. You knew what he was going to do. You could have went that way, but you decided to go that way. So you're going to jail for 7 years, bro. I mean, purchasing a house abroad, obviously the studio flat that I bought, it cost me like 8,600 or something like that. So I paid it in cash. You have to, I mean, it's pretty much the same as over here. It's just, you don't have to go through a lender because you're paying for it in cash. I don't know about mortgaging a property in another country. One of my brethren, he bought a property in Sweden, but when we was talking about it, he didn't say it was anything different to over here. With his property in Sweden, he had to put down a 15% deposit, 1-5, instead of a 10% deposit in England. Maybe their thing is different in Sweden. But yeah, I just bought it in cash, had to pay for the solicitors and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty easy. It wasn't nothing difficult. Still need to get myself out there, man. Yeah. I got stabbed before still. Literally, man was mad on road. I wasn't even bad. I was just mad. I was a maniac. Like, man was so shook at me. I might punch man in their face. Man have ran off, and I've gone to my taekwondo class, and like, man was such a problem for the man on the road. Man have to call 4 man, so there's a 5 of them in total to come back for me. And blood, I've always been the same size. Man that I punch in the face was all 6'4", big youth, blood. But then he still has to call 4 man for me. Same age. Well, the youth was a year younger than me, but same age basically, innit? Yeah, start a mortgage channel. Yeah. Maybe, you never know. Right, hold on. Yeah. Get me. Obviously, man's always gonna. Yeah, always here to give advice. From DM me, JY's TV on Instagram and that. Yeah, man. The property thing is definitely worth it, man. You can't go wrong, man. Ain't no better investment than bricks and mortar, man. Don't listen to these idiots that talk about AP watch is a better investment. It goes up faster. And I'm telling you, the reason why that man there is so pro AP watch and Rolex watch. Because you know what? I would respect it if a man bought an AP watch. This ain't no AP watch. This is a fucking diesel watch because we're about £300. If a man bought an AP watch that was worth 10 grand or 20 grand and it's going to go up by 5 or 6 grand or whatever in it in a short space of time, I would respect a man, you know, if a man said to himself, okay, boom, this 20 grand, 30 grand AP watch, I'm not going to take it out. It's going to remain in the box the whole time. Maybe for my 30th birthday, over this next 7 to 8 years period time or whatever, I'm going to take it out one time because I'm turning 30 in that time. I'm going to wrap my hand in Ross Clark cling film so it don't get damaged. Fine. But man are not doing that. Like. Man are buying a 20, 30 grand AP watch and stunting with it. Yeah. Get me bust down on that. Because they think it's cool. They think they're going to get brownie points and social points for it. Man are not buying the AP watch because it's a good investment. That's a flipping good byproduct, yeah. But they're not buying it for that reason because it's an investment. They're buying it because they want to look the part. It's stupid as well because the only people that are impressed with people that are buying AP watches and that are broke people. Tell Alan Sugar about buying an AP watch. Man, I don't give a damn about that. Man, he will rather hear you talking about starting up a business or buying a few properties and that. That white there's Samuel Leeds, yeah, does all the property training thing. You don't want to hear about your fucking AP watch. Tell him about some Ross Clark properties and that. Yeah? Only people that's impressed with you buying a 30 grand AP watch is broke people, blood. Because anyone that's involved in property in that will think to themselves, you bought that watch for 30 grand. I could have bought a buy-to-let property in Northampton. You're an idiot, blood. You can't rent out that watch to anyone. And even if you do, the wear and tear on an AP watch is way more significant than a fucking house, bro. Only people that's impressed with a 30 grand AP watch is broke people. Ironically, because you would think the people that would be impressed with a 30 grand AP watch and that is rich people. Nah, it's the broke people. Man just don't understand this mindset of these people that want to live this pretentious lifestyle and that want to look like they're look like they're rich when they're really poor, blood. So overcompensation. People overcompensate in different aspects of life as well. I went to this woman's house on, was it Tuesday or Wednesday? It was Wednesday because I remember I was doing a certificate for it. But I've got to get off this live stream and do my paperwork, my invoices. But anyway, I found out this woman and she lives in some flat block. I've been there before. So I found out, yeah, it's the electrician. I'm planning to come in a couple of hours' time, just making sure you're aware of this appointment and that. You know them people like Northampton, they got like they don't have posh accents. They don't sound like they're educated. They just sound like normal working class people. But this woman, she sounded like she was educated. She sounded like kind of like, you know, posh-ish, well-spoken and that. So I was like, okay, cool. So boom, man's turned up to this woman's flat. Now, if someone sounds educated and posh-ish and well-spoken, you would think that they will live in a nice, clean, like of a high standard house. Although it's a council house, because some people have council houses that look better than my house. Yeah, they really put in some effort into this house and interior design and that. And it's a council house, they don't even own it. So not everyone that lives in council houses live dirty and live rough. Get me? You come to my mum's house, you would think my mum owns the house, where my mum's done up all the furniture and the interior design and decor. So anyway, boom, gone to this woman's house, this flat, sorry, and when I've gone to the front door was wedged open with a walking stick. So when I see that, I'm like, what the rust? Like, why is the door open like that, wedged open with a walking stick? Like, at the top of the door. The door's wedged open with a walking stick. I'm like, bro, what's going on over here, innit? So I'm like, hello, like, you get me, trying to get the woman's attention. And I said, yeah, I'm coming. You want to see the hallway? Mad. Filthy to blood clot. This woman's come now. Yeah, and she's all talking like well-spoken and that. She's like, oh, I'm just having a revamp of the house. Blood, if you ever see this yard, the bathroom was so dirty, there is no way on earth this woman has a shower. She must clean herself with baby wipes or something like that. I'm in the hallway, standing where the fuse box is, writing down my circuit details and that. And I knew the rest of the house was going to be mad because I could see in the bathroom. She said, oh, you don't need to go in the bathroom, do you? And she closed the door quickly because it was slightly open, innit? I could see into the bathroom. So you don't need to go in there, do you? And she shut the bathroom door. The hallway was mad. There's dirt. It's filthy on the floor. Like, I wouldn't want to pick up money if I dropped it on the floor. So I'm standing in the hallway where the cupboard is, and I'm writing down the circuit details on a piece of paper. And I'm seeing these little flies just jump on my paper. I'm seeing 1, 2 little flies, but it's not like your normal fly. You know them annoying house flies that come into your yard and they do that weird thing with it's not one of them house flies and that. It's some other little flies and that. So anyway, I've seen these little flies and that. I feel myself, I've dealt with this situation before. I had to walk out of the woman's house and say, listen, you've got too much flies in there. Leave it. If I go into the bedrooms and the living room and that, and it's mad, I'm just going to walk out and boom. So I've seen these little flies and that. And once I've done what I needed to do at the fuse box, it's time to go deeper into the yard. So she said to me, I hope you're all right with climbing on top of stuff. I said, I'm not climbing on top of nothing. I'm not climbing on top of your stuff here to get around and that. So I'm just going to test the sockets that I can, but I'm not climbing on top of your stuff. Anyway, the bedroom was mad. No, even a dirty man wouldn't want to go and sleep with this woman. Yeah. So anyway, boom, gone into the living room. The living room is mad. This woman is a dirty hoarder, not just a hoarder, not just someone that collects old vinyl records and that, and they got fucking Sting and the Police and you get me flipping all different kind of soundtracks and that from films and all this kind of foolishness. No. The woman is a dirty hoarder. Like, there's no way this woman has any friends. If she has friends that go to the house, their friends are just as dirty as her. I've gone in the kitchen, yeah? Again, the kitchen is mad. No, there's no way man will take a cup of tea from her and I'd actually take offense if she even asks me. Boom, she's come to the kitchen door when I'm in the kitchen and I'm seeing like these little flies all over the place, but it's not that bad because I don't need to spend that much time in the kitchen. Couple minutes and I'm out. I'm on one side of the kitchen testing the sockets and that. I've gone over to the other side of the kitchen. I've got my test kit. And like, obviously the test kit, yeah, has got a plug attached to it, innit? My man's gone over to the other side of the kitchen to plug in this test kit. Blood, as I've gone to reach over, yeah, there's like an empty can of, like plum tomatoes. Yeah? This is one of them people, they'll have old cans of food and just plates of food be sitting there for 2 weeks, yeah? the tomato ketchup is hard like a stone on top of these plates of food and that. So there's a can, yeah, obviously, you know, like a food can that you open up, empty can. Or so I thought it was empty. I've gone to reach over, because obviously there's a countertop and that. Gone to reach over to this socket. There's this cloud of flies. Blood, there's like 30 flies, you know. You know the little fruit flies? If you ever left fruit out for a long time, like you've gone away for a week, you see these little flies and that. About 30 fruit flies. I was like, blood, what the fuck? Am I backed up now, innit? Yeah. I was like, nah. She was like, what? I mean, what do you mean what, blood? You can't see the fucking flies, but you know when people act dumb? Acting dumb like you don't see, like you don't know that you got fruit flies all over your kitchen, infesting your kitchen. You know what? Tomorrow, I might even report that yard as unhealthy, like, you know, like, yeah, unclean situation for people to work in and that. Like a health hazard, blood. I'm not going to reach over to plug in a socket over a can of empty plum tomatoes and there's a cloud of like 30 fruit flies. You know, like when you walk down a dirty alleyway and there's just bare flies, like they're having a fucking orgasm and that, like they're on some speed dating thing. Blood, that was that in a woman's kitchen. No way, yeah. If the socket was broken and I had to fix it, I'm not fixing that socket. Walking out of that place. I'm not spending no more time in that woman's yard, woman's kitchen. But the point of the story is some people like to overcompensate. That woman there, I know yeah, if she's educated, she didn't go to school of cleanliness. I tell you that. She ain't got a master's degree in the school of cleanliness. If she's educated in that, yeah, she didn't go to clean school. I tell you that now. The reason why the woman talks all proper and that, she's overcompensating that she's a dirty tramp, blood. Jesus Christ, man. You want to see this bathroom? There is no way, like, you know, like the woman's got like a Zimmer frame in the bathtub and that. Just like you would have to step over junk to get in this woman's, you know, like when you go in the bathroom and that, there's a space between the door and obviously the bathtub where the floor space is supposed to be clear. You would have to step over stuff to get into the bathtub. That's how I know it's not being used, bro. She probably just have a little sink wash, just, you get me, or baby wipes and that. Madness. Now I know where all the flies are coming from. They come from that kitchen and they're just going and exploring the rest of the fucking flat, blood. But yeah, the point of it is some people, they overcompensate. Now the reason why the woman's talking all posh and that is, or well spoken and that, she's overcompensating that the woman's a dirty tramp. She might well be educated in that, but she didn't go to clean school. I'm telling you that now. Madness. But yeah, the nicest people wear the nicest people. The brokest people wear the nicest clothes. The man that has multiple properties and that, bro, he don't care about. He's not bragging to his friends. I know, man. Bragging. Oh, I've got a wardrobe worth of 20 grand and that, bro. That's a gal thing, fam. That's some whole shit, blood. Man are bragging about a wardrobe that's worth 20 grand, fam. Who cares, blood? That's the sort of thing that a girl would be talking about. But, oh, my shoe collection and that. Me, I've got a lot of trainers because I buy trainers in threes and a minimum twos and that. So if I like a pair of trainers, I've learned get 2 pairs because there's gonna come a time where like the trainers are not worthy of wearing on the street no more, unless you're gonna wear them on like a construction site or something. But man really like them and that, innit? Yeah, and I'm gonna regret not buying 2 pairs. So if I like a pair of trainers, I usually buy 2 and that. But I don't brag about no trainer collection and that. I'm a fucking grown ass man, bro. Well, like I walk around with a tampon in, blood, about, oh man, I got 20 grand worth of clothes and that. Yeah, but you're living in a council house, blood. You're struggling, blood. You don't want to be one of these men that have to do these dumb little side hustle. Man rate the hustle thing and that. Don't get it twisted. But trust me, fam, you want your side hustle to be something that's respectable, not no local like like me doing like private work on the side. I would say that's a respectable side hustle because that's my full-time job anyway. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about man that have to do dumb little side hustles, like man just selling stuff on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like just like man just selling, just doing little dumb side hustle. Like me, my side hustle is respectable. Forget the electrical thing. I don't even do private work no more. I don't get private work like that. I ain't looking for it like that. Some of the tenants approach me, oh, can you do private work and that? And I don't really turn them down. I just say, yeah, take my number and that, innit? You got my number, save it, innit? But I don't care if they call me. Furthermore, I don't want them to phone me, to be fair. But it's always good to have your number out there just in case. But my side hustle is respectable. I make 8 bills a month off of my property, blood. My flat around the corner. Yeah, man don't need to worry about selling this and selling that and trying to jump on whatever's popping and that. No, if a man got a respectable side hustle. Man not knocking no one's hustle and that, but what I'm saying is you want to get to a stage where you graduate to having respectable side hustles and that. Not when man come to your house, do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that? Nothing worse than I hate when people are trying to sell me stuff. Like a snake oil salesman. Man just trying to see you as like a money-making opportunity in that. I hate that shit. One of my pet hates as well, like, you know, like man that like, and I made a video about this. Like I said, I make a video about every Ross Clark thing. You know, man that try to jump on man's thing, like put it this way, yeah, so like, people know that man's an electrician, innit? I've had people approach me in the past, yeah, and say, yeah, Jay, how much you charge to put up a light? And I tell a man, yeah, £40 if it's local. I'm not driving to South London to put up a light for £40, no. If it's local, Edmonton, Tottenham, Wood Green, or Hornsey, or Enfield somewhere, £40 in it, quick thing, boom. Man will say, okay, well, £40, yeah? All right, cool. What I'll tell the customer that it's £55 or £60 in it, yeah? And then, like, you get me, you take the £40 and give me, no, fam. Don't, no. Or how much the wire in the cooker? Yeah, £50 and that. Well, I'll tell them £70 in it, yeah, and then break me off 20 because I got you the job. No, fuck that shit, man. You're a leech, blood. You're a leech. I know a man, but he's a cat. A man asked me to go to his mum's house to install a light, and he told me that he was going to tell his mum that it cost £50, but then he wanted to give me £30 for it. Because he asked me, how much is it going to cost? And I said, £30. And he said, okay, boom, I'm going to charge my mum 50. See, this is what happens here when you're a cat on the road. You'll try to shake your mum, blood. Yeah? How are you trying to even, you think I'll try to make a drink off my mum, blood? How the fuck you on road? You're grown ass man. Not look 15, 16, 17-year-old like, yeah, man, trying to make a little bit of money off my mum. My mum's loaded. No. Ross Clark, 40-year-old man. These times man was like 19, 20, 22 or something. Yeah, the guys, yeah, like my mum's, what am I talking about? All 45 and that. Man's trying to make a drink off his mum, blood. What? How the hell are you trying to make £20 off of your mum, blood? Like, on sly. Like, not even like being upfront with your mum or whatever, really. Yeah? Nah, you're lying to your mum. You're making your mum pay £50 when really it costs £30, bro. That's number one cat movement there, bro. This is what drugs will do to you. Drugs. I had an older man in my family, fam. Messaged me on Facebook Messenger. Oh, can you borrow me £50 and that? The fuck, blood? You should be embarrassed, blood. Tell man, no. I have never, now obviously, just because I've never, I don't mean man looking down on anyone, but I've never had to borrow money from anyone. Never in my life. Never in my life have I had to borrow money from anyone. But I've always been smart with money. It's just in my nature, it's in my DNA. So that's how man grow, innit? Get me? Train myself from young. Always be smart with money. Always be smart with money. But I've never had to borrow money from no one. And you know what? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is why it's important for kids and for parents to set themselves up so that they can always, you get me, be their child's backbone and that. Cause like, man come from a family, family don't have money like that. And even the other day, I was looking to go to auction to buy a property and that. I'll tell you a lot about that in a minute. I was looking to go to auction to buy a property and that. And the amount I wanted to borrow weren't going to be enough. And I'll get onto that in a sec. But even like, I was going to be like 5-10 grand short or something like that. Like, I can't even, I love my mum in it, but I can't even go to mum and say, yeah, borrow me 10 grand and that. Like, no, I want to be that dad where my son or daughter has some serious business proposition where I could be like, here's 10 grand, hold that. See, you lot from in the black community, we don't think that that's possible. White people, that is possible with white people, you know. My girl is a mortgage advisor. And most of the people them that, you know, she has to process and that, they get money gifted to them, i.e. their parents have dropped them 10, 15 grand. In the black community, that's alien to us. We don't understand, oh, how the fuck can your parents have 15, 20 grand to pull out on that? Because we ain't got the thing pattern, blood. It's embarrassing. As parents, as black parents, we should be able to pull out 10, 15 grand and give our youths. Whether we're stingy or not, we should have the capability to do it. Because I know there's parents that have 100 grand stat and they will never even give their kid 2 grand. That's just out of stinginess and that. At least they're in a position to do it. There's some parents, whether they want to or not, fam, it's not feasible, it's not possible without taking out a loan. Telling you, white people, they set up their youths there differently to us, you know. We should be embarrassed. We should be ashamed of ourselves. I'm not going to be like that. But for the most part, all of us are like that. Should be able to go to mum or dad and say, yo, I need 10 grand because I'm going to invest in this property. Not for this car or this holiday, or I need to wrap this car or pay for this exhaust pipe. No, not stupidness. The business proposition, I potentially can buy this property, but I'm 10 grand short. Mum, dad, I need it. As long as they believe that you're a sensible person, they should be able to give you that money. But certain parents right now, whether their child, they know their child is sensible and that, but they just ain't got, they ain't in the position to be able to break off 10 grand and give their child just like that. And let's say their child done something mad and fucked up the money or even ran off with it. It's not going to affect them. It's not going to affect their bank balance or something. People watching this right now think, oh, that's mad. Nah, that's not possible. It is possible. It is possible. Well, I'll pay attention to stuff like when my girl's telling me about the mortgage thing and that, she might not think I'm listening, like when I'm hearing like things like, oh yeah, this person got gifted this and gift. I'm like, wow, all the customers, all these white people getting gifted 10 grand and that. I pay attention to stuff like that. That stuff, that might go over the heads of most people, but that don't go over my head. When I hear that, oh, all these clients and that are getting gifted 10 grand, 20 grand from their parents and that registers. I'm like, raw, because that don't happen in the black community. I know, man have been murdered, yeah, unexpected death, and the family has to go out and run around and get life insurance. Sorry, I have to go out and take out a loan because they can't afford the funeral costs because they don't have no money saved. This is why I made my mum get life insurance and that. As I said in that video, I think it's called Death and Life Insurance and that. I was talking some real talks in that video, and I'm saying that, blood, listen, at the end of the day, we're all gonna drop dead one day. And me, man, prepare for hard times and that. Man don't want hard times to come and be unprepared for it. And you get me, there was a death in the family and that, and I said to myself, you know what, yeah? I'm the oldest child, so it's down to me to foot the bill for mum's funeral. I'm not relying on my stepdad. I'm not relying on my little brother. My little brother's a big boy now, he's 23, but I'm not relying on, oh, yo, let's chip in for mum's funeral. No. Or run into my say, oh, you got money? No. I'm the oldest child, so it's down to me to pay for my mum's funeral. I'm not running to nobody. So I made my mum get life insurance. And I said to my mum, at any point, if you can't afford to pay this life insurance, I think it's like £50 a month. No, it's less than that. Whatever amount it is, it don't matter. If you can't afford it or you don't want to, I don't care. Let me know and I will pay for it. It will come out of my pocket. The direct debits will come out of my bank account. You know why? Because I'm the oldest pitney. I'm the oldest child. It's going to be down to me to pay for the funeral anyway. So it's either I pay for it and pull out a 15, 20 grand. Because I want to give my mum a good send off. It's either I pull out 20 grand at once, which ain't going to be possible anytime soon, or I foot the bill every month, and I'd rather do that. I'd rather pay for my mum's life insurance, £30 a month, so that unfortunately my mum passed away. Get me? I got the thing patterned to the point where I don't have to be grieving and then running around trying to look for money for my mum's funeral. Thinking to myself, shit, man, my mum's gonna have some dead funeral on that. Nah. When you're a man, you prepare for hard times, yeah? You think. So any of you lot right now, yeah? Especially if you're the oldest child, it's down to you. Yeah? You get your parents them life insurance. Certain people right now, if their parents drop dead right now, they ain't got no money to pay for no funeral. Yes. Man like AY London. Hey, what's going on, fam? What's this? Yeah, so in that video, death and life insurance, I'm gonna say it now, I'm gonna say it again. I don't want to be cremated, yeah? I want to be buried. And bury me in Edmonton Cemetery as well. Edmonton, we got a cemetery. I want to be buried in Edmonton, like Edmonton. That's where, man. I was born in Edmonton, so you know what? If I die in Edmonton, if I die and I'm buried in Edmonton, that's cool. Get me? So, man, don't want to be cremated. Man wants to be buried, and I also want to be buried in Edmonton. Yeah. So bury me in Edmonton Cemetery. I'm saying it now because I don't fear life. I don't fear death. You know, man, I don't want to die. I don't want to get stabbed in my heart and die. But man, understand that one day you're gonna die. I'm not afraid of death. So some people, they don't like to talk about it because it scares them too much. Me, it is what it is, isn't it? And it's not because I believe in any afterlife. I don't believe in God. I don't believe that there's a heaven and hell. But yeah, so I don't want to get cremated. Why? I don't like the idea of my body being burned. I want my body to remain. And because obviously some people, they get cremated and then they have like a plot, like a memorial. No, I want my body to actually be in the ground. That's just the way I think. Like, I mean, with the funeral thing, if you're gonna have a church service and that, you have to hire out the church service and that. Get me, the priest or whatever. And if you're Catholic, or the pastor, if you're Christian and that, they have to get paid. You have to pay for the church itself. You have to pay for food, night and all them things there. But it's expensive. Drinks, it's expensive. It's expensive. But yeah, man, like you need to, yeah, man, get life insurance. I mean, I need to chase them down because they're supposed to be approving my life insurance and that. See, man, not just getting like life insurance, making my mom get life insurance, so that, oh, if my mom passes away, you know, I don't have to pull out 20 grand because it's all covered. No, I'm getting life insurance for me as well, because I don't want my mum to be in a position where certain family members certain family member pass away, family running around and that. I'm not saying they did GoFundMe, but that kind of thing, I take out a loan and that because they ain't got no money. See, for one, I don't want my mom to be grieving over my death. And for two, my mom ain't got no money for a funeral for me. Man's heard stories. People, they can't afford a funeral for their loved one that's passed away, and the body has been in the freezer for so long, the person hardly looks how they did when they were alive. Not because they've been run over or nothing like that. Their skin has just turned mad. Like most people, when they die and they're buried, they look pretty much how they did when they were alive. No, the person's been in the freezer for so long because they're running around trying to get the fucking money and now finances is bad and that, the person doesn't even look the same no more. Because they've been in a freezer for so long, blood. This thing is deep, you know, cuz. Malachi S. Is that Mali that I know that rides a bike? Because I know a couple Malachis, but let me know, fam. Is that Malachi the biker, yeah? Probably not. But. One thing that's morbid though. So Nadia is half Polish, half something else. So anyway, she said that in Poland, yeah, the thing is mad. Like, as a living person, because it's so expensive in Poland and that, it's cheaper to buy your plot of land for where you're going to be buried. No, like I said, man, I want to be buried in Edinburgh, but I don't want that plot 10AB. Yeah, that's for JYs. Fuck that shit. No. So in Poland, you have to buy, it's cheaper for you to buy your plot of land where you're going to be buried. No, I don't want to know where I'm going to be buried. I don't want to know that if I go to these specific coordinates, that's where I'm going to be buried. Fuck that bullshit. Fuck that. Plot 1096T is JY. Fuck that. No. But if I had to, yeah, I would. Yeah, that's mad. That is mad, you know. Imagine knowing not what cemetery you're gonna be buried in. Imagine knowing this is the plot of land that you're going to be buried in. Unless you say to your family, bury me in the back garden because we have like a big plot of land or whatever. That's nuts, bro. I don't even know if that's legal, to be fair. So sweet. I'm coming off in 5 minutes, though. See, look, right now I've got 10 people. One day, I'll have a YouTube channel where there's like 150 people. Might be in about 150 years, though. One day, man, will get there still. But back to the original topic anyway. Yeah, man for come off road at about age 18, man. You don't want to be like the Shane. Shit. You don't want to be like the Shane, still on road. The older you get, the worse the sentences get as well. Like I said, that 16-year-old that got 17 years the other day, when I spoke to the guy on the phone, if he was 21, 25, he would have got a lot longer. The only reason why he got 17 years is because he was so young. Literally, man. You stay on road long enough, you're going to be a cat. I even said this to A1 before. A1 from Lewisham and that. There's certain black man that you see walking around, he's a dickhead, he's a cat. I'm telling you, certain of them man there, they were someone on road. They might not be the baddest man in the ends, but they were like certain man that you know, oh yeah, that guy there. They stay on road so long, in and out of jail. Think about it, yeah. You're doing these long 5-year sentences and that. Oh, most men are influenced easily. Not everyone's like me, you know, can say no to drugs and alcohol. Certain man, 5 years, they're stressed. Your cellmate's always smoking crack. Fuck it, give me that, man. That's why they turn into crackheads. They say there's more drugs in jail than on the street. That's not true. There's more drugs in that smaller place, yeah, than there is out on the street, obviously. Yeah, there's nowhere there's more drugs in a small detention center prison than there is out on the street. But there's more drugs for that square footage of that place. Yeah, there's more drugs in jail than there is out on the road. For the square footage, yeah, 110%. And the price of drugs is way more as well. Yeah, everything in jail is way more. You know, yeah. Fun fact: there's certain man they like to go to jail. You know, there's certain man. Well, let me tell you a couple things. I'll tell you I'll come off in 5 minutes. Yeah, it might be another 10 minutes still. I've been in jail and I see man come on the wing. Blood, I'm back, man. I'm shouting, you know. I'm like, what? You only been out for a month or 2 months or some madness like that. Some man like it. Because you've been to enough jails. There's certain man, they actually have friends in jail. They've done the rounds so much. They've been in and out of jail so much. There's only a certain amount of jails you can go to. You're gonna run out of people to new people to meet and that. They know everyone. They got bare friends in that jail, this jail, that wing, this wing. They like it. Certain man have good networking skills in jail and they shot and they make a lot of money. There's certain man, they don't mind going to jail because they know they're gonna come out rich, blood, or they're gonna come out. They will earn more money in jail than if they was doing a 9 to 5. Certain man don't care. Certain man don't mind going to jail. Especially the bigger man jails as well. It's easier to do. Bigger man jail is easier than them young jails, man. Them young jails, they all man to do is just fight every day. Big man jail, they don't do that. But when stuff does happen, it's worse though. Stuff does happen, it's worse, bro. There's certain man, they don't mind going in jail, blood, because they're gonna come out richer. Certain man are lazy. Certain man, they don't want to work. Certain man, they don't mind having a free roof over their head, free TV, free time to some degree. When I say free time, I mean time where no one's demanding anything of you. If you want to stay in your cell all day, you can. Yeah. And you get free meals. So man, that's luxury, blood. Told you already. Man met one you. He'd been homeless and that, and he said to me that he's just glad for the roof over his head. And right then and there, so he grew up in foster care, and then after he left foster care when he was old enough, like 16 and that, he'd been homeless. And he said, yeah, he's just glad for the roof over his head. Or when he left foster care when he was 18, he was homeless. He was like, because I was 18 at that time, he's a couple of years older than me. You know, one of them man there, they're too smart to be in jail. I know he ain't got no qualifications and that, but being smart is not about degrees and that necessarily. But you know, man, you know, there's certain man in another life, literally, they would have been a fucking smart guy. In this life, he is a smart guy. If you met him on road, you would never think he's a jail man. White brother. He said to me, yeah, he's just glad for the roof over his head. And right then and there, I knew that he done some shoplifting and that, and he got nicked, and that's why he's in jail. Right then and there, I know he stole from the shops on purpose so that he can go to jail. You know, that's how sad certain man's life is. Maybe it was all in his master plan. Maybe he thought to himself, you know what? Let me steal. I'm not gonna be homeless temporarily, and then when I come out, I'll be given a place. Because when you come out of jail, if you have nowhere to go, they put you in a flat or a hostel or somewhere because they just know if you come out and you're homeless, you're just going to reoffend again. They do their background research on you. They know where, yeah. I didn't know that my mum knew I was coming out of jail. I'm going home, trying to hurry up and go home, surprise my mum, and she already knew I was coming out. I was like, rah. They must have contacted my mum because they don't know the home life situation. Yeah, I give my address. Oh, I live at this road, this number. First of all, I could be lying that I live there. And second of all, I could be a fucking nightmare. Yeah, there's certain people, their parents are glad that they're in jail. Yeah. There's such a nightmare in that. They're like, just lock him up for 10 years, please. It's just such a fucking problem. There's always some mad noise outside. People driving some loud cars and that. Just lock him up for 10 years. There's some people that, so anyway, the prison system, they have to do their background research on you before they release you because you might be a problem for your people them at home. Just because you submit an address, that don't mean that whoever's at that address, the occupier wants you there. You could be giving your baby mum's address. She had next use while she was in jail, got a new man. Yeah, she don't want nothing to do with you. So they have to do their background research on you. Your home life might not be good. So they must have contacted my mum and that. And yeah, she knew I was coming home before I knew that she knew. You know why they're quiet? The people are just listening and that. But yeah, if you wanted to call in for 5 minutes, it's up to you, innit? If not, I'm gonna come off. I'm definitely coming off in 5 minutes. I've got stuff to do though, man. Yeah, the street is not occupation, fam. Definitely not, man. Oh yeah, let me tell you a lot about that auction. So anyway, there's one property local on that, innit? Yeah. And the guide price was 60 grand. So the guide price was 60 grand and that. So I was trying to get a bridging loan to finance this property in it. So anyway, boom. I didn't end up getting the finance I wanted anyway. So the guide price was 60 grand. So the day before the auction, I logged into the auction and I saw there was already 3 people watching. The guide price was 60 grand and I could basically only borrow about 80 grand. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't even go through with it because there were some other issues and that. So anyway, I logged into the auction the night before and saw 3 people watching this property. And I thought to myself, from time I see 3 people watching this property and the guide price is set at 60 grand and my capacity is 80, my cap is 80, I know I'm going to get outbidded. The auction started at 7:30 at 60k. I was capped at 80, so I couldn't go above 80. My highest bid is 80 grand, you understand? But man's checked the auction at 8:30. The property was already at 115, 115k, you know, 115k already, you know. Anyway, check back the auction the next day or later on that day when it closed, and this property sold for 150. Man, but I'm glad though. Like, I'm glad it sold for over what I could afford. Because imagine it sold for 40, 75 and I could have bought it. I would have been vexed. Well, I mean, it's not a fun experience getting punched up and getting stabbed and that. But yeah, when I got stabbed, I was losing consciousness and that. It actually felt, this is gonna be a mad feeling. Man wrote about this one, but it actually felt like soothing, you know. But I can't speak for other people that have been stabbed. I don't know. But yeah, not soothing, but it felt weird. I wasn't in pain. That I was in pain like weeks later and that. Oh yeah, definitely. Nah, man, it's way, man, buy a property, man, definitely, man. Way better to buy properties, man. You can even buy properties and have multiple properties to the point where like you're making so much profit off your properties, but for some reason they're not in an ideal area, so you can even then rent and not feel the burn. You know what I'm saying? Like, for whatever reason, the properties that you've got are not in the ideal area, and you want to move to another area and that, and yeah, it's just like the rental money that you get from certain properties cancel out the rental money that you're gonna pay to another landlord, and you can pick where you want to live. See, like me, man's in a position now. If I really wanted to move closer to London, I could just go, forget about buying a property. I could rent out my flat, which I am already, and use some of that money to pay for a rental property somewhere close to London in Luton. So it opens up so much different doors and that when you got 1, 2 properties and that. Right, so 440k they need to put in. I don't know what Nadia's on about. Yeah, coming off 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. It's a real 5 minutes now. Got Rouse Club paperwork to do. Yeah, that was some bad maths, man. Well, go on. What you know? I see people using this alien emoji. You know, what the hell does that alien emoji mean? He's just playing with me now, putting these dumb emojis now. But yeah. So yeah, man. Any lot got any little young cousins that are on the wrong path? Send them to my Ras Clark channel, fam. That's gonna be making more videos about keeping off the streets and stuff like that. Obviously, because they're gonna be using my thing in the prisons now. So I feel obligated. The next video I'm gonna make, I already started doing my notes. I mean, I should have done this video about 8 months ago, how to get out of a gang. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking to release that in about a week. So yeah, that's gonna be an important video for the youths that's in jail. Because when these youths come out of jail, if all they got is the streets to go back to or the gang life to go back to, they're just still gonna be in a cycle, and I need to break the cycle. Now, obviously, it was easy for me, so that's why I'm gonna have to go into detail, because not everyone's gonna have an apprenticeship waiting for them. I'm not saying I had an apprenticeship waiting for them and waiting for me, kind of, but not really. I was just fortunate to get the hookup and that through the probation service. So it's not because I knew someone. Basically, when you come out of jail, you have to go to probation for the length of your license. So let's say, for example, you get 6 months in jail. You do 3 months in jail, then you come out and you're on 3 months license, yeah? In that 3 months, you have to attend probation twice or once a week, whatever. I can't remember the intervals. So whilst I was in the probation service, my probation officer, one of the 2 probation officers I had, said, oh, they got an apprenticeship going at Haringey Council. Boom, boom, boom. So then, yeah, the rest is history, man. So yeah, I was fortunate to get a job, and you get me. But for some man, it ain't gonna be that easy and that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to cover all angles in that video, because the thing about the gang thing as well is like, yeah, you might change your life around and that, but your enemies still remember what you did to them, you know. Yeah. Just because you say, oh, that's it, I'm not with this shit no more. They don't care. You think that man they care? So you still have to have one eye open. Yeah. You still have to slightly be watching your back. I'm gonna be talking about man have to move off ends. Because there's some people, I don't understand this. Your ends is the ops. So for example, there's man that rep Wood Green, but they're a Tottenham youth. They've never lived in Wood Green. They're born and bred Tottenham, but they rep Wood Green, but they beef Tottenham. So your ends is a up block blood. That's long, fam. There's a couple man like that. The Wood Green youths, they actually live in Tottenham, and like they've always lived in Tottenham, but they rep Wood Green. So your ends technically is your up block blood. Fuck that, man. So yeah, man like that, they have to just move out of the ends. They have to move out of the ends. Yeah, okay, they're not partying with Wood Green youths because they're like, you know, I'm not down with it no more. But just their local area where they go to shops with their mum, they could get into beef. No, you have to move. You have to go to Essex or wherever in it, or Hertfordshire. You have to move. You have to find a way to get out. Literally, man need to start driving as well. A lot of beef can be avoided if you're just driving, you know, or riding a moped or something. If you're moving fast, they can't catch you. But put your last comments down. I'll come back in a sec. One of the worst ones is when you flipping. It's like whatever you're doing, yeah, you're finishing late. Like you finish a live stream late, and then you still got more stuff to do. I still got to do a little bit of paperwork, and then like you know, like putting on new bed sheets and that. It's so tedious. I hate having to put on bed sheets and that. That's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I'm out now. One more minute. All right, I'm out, people. Respect for the people them coming through. Xavier, Mohul, Nadia, AY London, Jerry Manning, Malachi S, No Shit. Who else we got? Batman's Nephew, Soothing Window. What do you man come up with these names, you know? Dorset David, how can I forget? Eve Jones. You know, I just going back cycling through to obviously just give a shout out to the people there who came through documentary and movies. Barack London. Well, you related to Obama, yeah? Barack London. Anyway, just seeing this girl's comment, this Eve, where's she gone? Hold on. Got lost there. One second. Yeah, this Eve Jones girl, yeah. She's like, my ex is on road, he's 26 and that. It's like, girls think this road thing is cool. Yeah, it's all fun and that until you get me, shit hits the fan. There's some girls where their yards, their doors been kicked off, and there's man them running up in your yard. You know? But that's for another. That's for another live stream, boy. Yeah, the dark side of having a boyfriend who's on road. Yeah, that might be the name of the next live stream, innit? Anyway, stay wise. Don't know.